stream, I guess. Jesus Christ. My mic was unplugged in. Usually I don't unplug it, so I guess I was just like, it's plugged in. How is everybody? Hello. We are so back. Oh my god, we're so back. We were never really gone. We just did the side game last week. And it was really good. It was a nice breakaway. It wasn't as lighthearted, quote unquote, as I was expecting it to be. I should have known I was still gonna get my heart broken in some way, shape, or form. But it was a nice little break from the overall story. And apparently it's a good way to set up for Arc 5. Baby, I know. Every time I see this intro screen, I'm like, oh god, we're in it for again. Hello, Gray. Hello. I will say that we're probably going to be jumping in really, really soon because I do not have any theories today. All my theories were at the beginning of... Sorry, my green screen's interacting with my hair. I don't have any theories today or anything like that because they were all at the beginning of last week's stream. So if you didn't see it, you didn't see it. Pretty much all the same. The only thing that's different is I feel like there's a lot of foreshadowing in the side game that pulls over to Arc 5. Because apparently our Fantastic Wonderland, this is Carrot's words, is that a lot of it helped inspire for Arc 5 in terms of like presentation specifically, like using more animations, maybe some of the overall story, and of course Jerry. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see Jerry. I guess he's gonna be a villain, so that's nerve-wracking, exciting. I don't know, but I'm glad that we played it. I'm glad that we got that context now. I'm so excited for Arc 5, but I'm also the most nervous I've been because if anything crazy is gonna happen, like super crazy, it's gonna happen now because it's like everything's been building up. Like, every character is here, and we get to unlock them slowly, you know what I mean? Like, even Bucks! So, like, I don't know. I have really no predictions outside of just, it's more just prayers. I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping for the best. I don't know how far, I don't even know how long Arc 5 is. From my understanding, it is the longest arc, so it might take a hot minute to get through, so don't expect me to do it today. But I'm gonna go as far as I can go and just have a good time because I've been looking forward to it. Cigarette Bucks who are route, you become their third. If only Iggy couldn't handle all that. I'm just joking. That's so mean. No. Secret route. I become part of Bucks and I send them both to therapy, marriage therapy, and then we could all work through it together. It's gonna be great. Iggy could genuinely not handle it. Oh no. I love Genzo's silhouette, which is just lumpman down here. Love him for that. You become everyone's therapist. Yes. I'm not licensed in any kind of therapy, but I think I could help them. I really do. Okay, that's enough yapping. It's stream start time. Why did I push start? I'm supposed to load. Let's just start the whole game over again. Dumb. It's okay. We really are back. No! Okay, it's fine. Okay, so Arc 5 morning. It's recommended that you play the side game. I did play the side game. Imagine if I just replay the entire game. Let's do it again. I'm so nervous for part 5. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go back. Though not a requirement. Yeah. Some references. A certain characters are all just Jerry. Yeah, it's just Jerry. So the same thing I said. Amazing. Hello, finally home, can actually catch the streams again. Hi, chatter, you were missed. I think you only really missed our Fantastic Wonderland. We had a great time. It was a good stream. But I'm glad that you're here for the start of Arc 5. Everything came together as it was supposed to. Everything is a blur. It is. A nauseating whirlpool of we're high. A kaleidoscope colors dancing across my eyes at all times. Yes, I did watch the VOD though. Oh, did you? We had a good time. It was really fun. Need Ghent. I need Ghent criminally. 1 second, I'm relishing in a strange veil of nostalgia, of long lost moments of intimacy, of glimmering pinpricks of happiness where my heart had felt truly content. Then everything is washed away in a deluge of mind-numbing angst and pain. So much pain. It comes and goes in waves and my mind remembers it, replays it. All those moments of fear. We almost replayed the entire game just then. Of panic. Those final seconds before my eyes had closed in death. Sometimes craving it. Craving an escape from the pain running up and down my arms and choking my lungs. I can't get away from it. curled up on the couch, face shoved in a pillow, willing everything away. I can't eat, can barely even move. It takes everything I can, just dragging myself back to the bathroom to dry heave, when a particularly intense wave of nausea passes through me. My body shakes as though feverish, and my skin burns with it. How are you going to recover from this? Sometimes cold, sometimes hot, but always prickling with a knife-like snips and snaps as I struggle to calm my rampant thoughts. How many times had I died? I have no telling. A lot, because I was behind the wheel. I have no idea. Every time I close my eyes, I'm given another glimpse, another flash. Bloody spears shoved through my gut. Scissors snapping through my skin. Knives chopping through bone. And red, so much red. The red of my insides, slipping and slopping as they slide out of me, around me. The smell of myself cooking. No matter how hard I press my face into the pillows, the images don't stop. The smells, the sounds, the coiling tendrils of panic. You know what this calls for? A lobotomy. I stay there all day, just lying there shivering, sometimes crying, sometimes gasping, sometimes drifting in and out of surreal, dream-laden sleep. I only vaguely notice the sun rising and falling, the orange-red tint coating the walls as it makes its way towards the horizon. Did someone call me? I don't remember. The phone might have rung, but maybe that was a memory too. A lilting melody plaguing my dreams. The sun is just about set all the way by the time I manage to quell my nausea. Sit up, stare at the far wall, darkened by dancing shadows. I clumsily shove my glasses onto my nose. Thirsty. I need to drink something. Me too. Water. We're really role-playing this time around. Get some fluids in me or something, God. I mean, it will help with the throwing up. My advice is if you feel like you're gonna throw up, just drink a shit ton of water. Because if you do, or when you do throw up, it's not gonna hurt as bad. That's just a nice little joy tip. Okay, this is kind of freaking me out. I stumble to the kitchen in dark and pour myself some water. It tastes like gunk. What time is it even? I glance around for my phone, realize I left it back in the bedroom. I finally turn the lights on as I retrieve it, my steps slow and sluggish across the carpet. 7:31. So late already. I have a few missed calls, too. Guess those were real after all. One from Hunar. Yes, Hunar, I know Bucks is gone. You know what else is gone? My fucking leg. Yes, she chopped it right off. Strong swing on that one, real slugger. Sorry if I'm not in the mood to talk about it right now. But now Bucks is plaguing my thoughts. The squelch of her axe as it cracked open Genzo's head. The way her arms trembled as she squeezed Orlam's neck so tight his eyes had begun popping out. The blood staining her hand. I like that we're not even, edging our way into it this time. We're like, nope, we know everything, full horde, let's all seep in it, like tea. Glad to know that Iggy knew all the genuinely horrible stuff Bucks did to him for no reason. Yeah, okay, can we talk about that? I mean, we've talked about it. But I think that's, where my anger for Bucks comes, because it's like, okay, well, you got us here. This was your fault, and now you're taking it out on us. Because you suck at marriage, and you don't know what you want in your life. The Bucks hatred coming out strong this time. No, but I'm glad he remembers, too. The blood staining her hands after she smashed Gidget's face into veritable mush. Yeah. I bring a hand to my forehead, feeling the cold sweat forming across my hairline. Then turn my attention back to the overly bright screen of the phone. Hunar's call isn't the only one listed. There's also one from Genzo, only a few hours ago. No message, though. Genzo had never called me before. Well, I mean, he'd certainly called me before, just, not in this weird whatever this is. Series of events? Unending loop of death? Is he also remembering something? Eternal hellscape? I paused for a moment, just staring at his name. Could it be that? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, he remembers too. There's something simultaneously comforting and terrifying at the thought. I mean, look, if we're gonna go through hell, might as well go to hell together, I say. But I do my best to fight down the rising whirligigs of discomfiture in my belly as I trudge back to the couch. My thumb only hovers for about 10 seconds before I manage to mash it against the call button. One ring, two. Between each ring, my mind jumps to his face. Me. His face as I kissed him. Okay, now we're back, please. Punched him. We did do that. Yeah. Yeah. I start panicking and nearly drop the phone. But it doesn't matter because he doesn't answer anyway. As it switches over to voicemail, I let my hand fall into my lap. If he really does remember. I rub at my face hard. Whirligigs, not gonna lie, I did not know that those were until I read this. Yeah, I heard it in another thing recently, and then it immediately made me think of our Wonderland. I was like, damn, I know that word. Thank you, Carrot. I rub up my face hard. I don't know how I feel about him, about any of this. Yeah, that's a lot to stomach, because Iggy's got feelings for, like, everybody now. It's okay. Let's just not deal with any of it. I'm having a whole fuck ton of complicated feelings right now. I know. His lack of answer is somewhat concerning, though. You don't think he's having a rough time as I am, do you? I mean... Genzo is struggling with his emotions as if... Even with all this knowledge, we are still somehow lacking. Oh, goodness. And yet, my gaze returns to my phone. Then I'm calling him again. This time he doesn't answer. I leave a vague, awkward message about checking in on him. Only after I've hung up for a second time sitting there with my thumbs tapping the glossy screen do I feel the loneliness start to settle in. No, not loneliness. More just like a visceral need to hear someone's voice. Oh, thank you for the follow, Roslyn. It scared me. Hi, we're in Arc 5 of our Wonderland, and a lot has gone on, so if you don't know, I would very much recommend playing the game because it's incredible. If not, it could be fun just experiencing it raw dog, just like this. I'm Joy, by the way, hi. Exaggerated by the deafening quiet on the receiver. Maybe I should go just see him. The more this thought plays in my mind, the stronger it becomes, morphing into an itch-like urge that just won't go away. I don't want to be alone right now. I can't be alone right. Hell no, you can't. And even if he remembers too, even if that means facing everything we've been through, the things we've done and said, well, it'd be better than sitting here curled up on myself and wanting to cry. Yeah, maybe we can make some actual progress and talk this shit out for once. That'd be great. Maybe we could even figure out where to go from here. Absolutely, let's do that. If there even is somewhere to go from here. Yeah, we'll decide. I try not to think about it, one step at a time. And the first step is getting to Genzo's. Keeping this goal razor focused in my mind, I force myself to my feet and back to my room to get changed. Keep it together, Iggy. Keep it together. We got this, guys. Don't worry. We got this. I don't got this. I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. I haven't been this nervous since Arc 1. Genzo? My knock sounds uncomfortably loud in the empty hallway. We've never been to his place. We've only ever been to a shop. And as I'm standing there, sitting awkwardly from left foot to right, I'm overcome with a strange sense of deja vu. No, not strange. I know why. I know exactly why, which does little to quell my anxiety. I shake my head to clear my thoughts. No point dwelling on the possible hundreds of times I've done the same thing over and over again. I'm about to lose my mind as is. I return my attention to the door, which has thus far remained silent and still. Surely he's not out. Surely. I knock again, this time a bit louder. Genzo, it's Iggy. The guy you've been in love with since high school. Yeah, please. I grimace at this, wave of guilt washing through me. It's okay, babe. You didn't know. Being oblivious isn't a crime. It seems so obvious now, all of it. How had I not been able to see it before after all this time? Look, the line between a good friend and, like, being in love is also quite thin, depending on how close you are with your friend. I would know. So... not him calling him out. You've been in love with me for years. Open the door! Love it! Or perhaps I hadn't allowed myself to see it. That's also fair. I sigh and run a hand through my hair. So many things I said to him over the years feel so cruel now. It's okay, babe. You didn't know. So many things I swallow. I shake my head. This isn't the time to be wallowing in self-deprecation. That's true, too. Genzo still hasn't answered the door, and it's making my stomach clench in increasingly tighter knots. Genzo, for fuck's sake! This time my knocks are sharp and purposeful and tinged with impatience. Hello, Butter! We're in Arc 5! Not much has happened yet. We remember everything that's happened in every arc so far, and we're going to see Genzo, but he's not answering. All the things I used to say seem so cruel now is like the freaking thesis of this game. No, for real. Like, the whole thing summed up. Then I remember. I freeze for a moment, knuckles still poised just shy of the wood, then scramble for the ring of keys in my back pocket. That's right. Oh, you've got keys? Hell yeah. We traded spares years ago. Oh. There's no one I trust more with the key to my inner sanctum. Sounds just like him. The memory sends another needle-like jab of guilt through my heart. But I focus on the positive, the key. It's there, hanging there between my folks' spare key and a mailbox key, quiet and unassuming, having never been used. I shove it promptly into the lock, push open the door. Genzo? I say almost as an afterthought as I walk inside. Hey there, absolutely loving your live stream. Seriously awesome stuff. I'm hooked and never want to miss out. How about this? Okay. It's dark. Of course it's dark. This means nothing. So I flick on the lights, look around. It's a strange feeling, seeing his place. It's not the first time I've been here. It is for me. I'd helped him move way back in the day, and I'd visited once or twice after moving back from college, when I'd still felt guilty about not staying in contact much during school. But that had been years ago, and looking around his place now feels somehow surreal, juxtaposed with the cocktail of emotional trauma currently curdling in my brain. It's neat and clean and sparse. Not a single item out of place or left astray, just as it always been, though perhaps exuding a sort of quiet loneliness to it that hadn't been there before. Genzo? I try again, though my voice is less confident this time, unsure. He's not in the main living area nor the kitchen, and when I don't see him in the bedroom either, I really do start to think he's absent entirely. I pop my head in the bathroom, take a look around. He's got a nice place. We should move it. Turn to leave, then stop. The shower curtain is half pulled back, revealing a spot of green in the tub, and it takes me a moment to realize it's not an abandoned towel. Genzo! I stumble forward, knees dropping to the tile. What's he do? Oh, he's probably panicking if he's remembering everything we are. He's there like a little ball rolled up in the tub, arms hugging his belly and eyes barely cracked. Genzo! My voice hitches and I give his shoulder a harried shake. He recoils at the touch, tries to turn away. Genzo, what's wrong? Another shake. It's then I notice him shaking, his whole body trembling with it. Fuck. Genzo, it's okay. I'm here, okay? I try tugging on his shoulder, get him to turn towards me, but he just shoves me away. Genzo, you can't... Can't what? Can't freak out? Why? Because I need him. The dependable one. That always knows what to do next. Oh! My shoulders sag, a long, slow sigh pushing past my lips. Let's get you out of the tub, yeah? I reach again, gentle this time, but he just shoves my hand away, curling in on himself even tighter. Genzo, come on! My voice comes out sharper than I meant it to, and I see Genzo wince. His fingers are clenched so tightly in the fabric of his sweatshirt that his knuckles have gone white. Tears pull up in his eyes before giving with a shudder and dribbling down his face. Oh, but I need to get him out of the damn tub, yeah! So I rise to my feet, grab giant fistfuls of his sweatshirt, and... yank. Genzo's body slumps backward like a saggy rag doll. This is not how I thought we were gonna start, okay? This is already so sad! Like, minute one! His face is streaked with what looks like multiple layers of tears, and his eyes are red and puffy, gazing off and unfocused towards the far wall. Fuck, Gen. I bite down on my bottom lip so hard I can taste blood. Ooh! Slap? Okay, yeah, no. As I've said before, some of these choices just don't exist. These are for psychopaths. These are for everyone else. I don't know what to do, except hug him. I don't know what to fucking do. But my mind flicks back to the hugs Genzo given me over the years. Those times when I'd been one unable to function or think, or those times when all I'd wanted was someone to hold me and tell me everything was going to be okay. And so I wrapped my arms around his neck. Oh, a little bit nicer. And pull him close. It's me, it's Iggy. I'm here. I clench my fingers into his sweatshirt, pressing my nose and face into his hair, the curls tickling my cheeks. Then just hold him. Hold him so fucking tight. This must finally trigger something, because he returns the hug with vengeance. Nearly squeezing the air out of my lungs as he buries his face into my shoulder. Then the sobs begin anew, his shoulders shuddering, throat hiccuping. I rub my hand gently up and down his back in time with his trembling breaths. He smells warm. A comforting mixture of corn chips, very specific, fabric softener, and cigarette smoke. And his stubble prickles against my neck. I sigh against the side of his head. It's gonna be okay, Gen. It's gonna be okay. Yeah, me to myself every day with this game. 5 minutes later, and I finally managed to free him from the confines of the tub. Oh. This is what our Wonderland will do to a motherfucker. His form now slumped like an oversized sack of potatoes on the couch. I grab the blanket, fold it up on the nearby chair, and wrap it around his shoulders. Also, the idea of having like a panic attack and then also not being able to see, for whatever reason, makes it so much worse in my in my thoughts. Like, I can't imagine being blind and also having panic disorder or like anything like that. Oh god. Pulled it up on the nearby chair and wrap it around his shoulders, hoping it might provide some level of comfort as I scrounge around for food. Make some macaroni! Then it's to the kitchen, where I can only hope he has something edible. and I preferably something appropriate for an emotionally compromised individual too, if such food even exists. After pursuing the cartons of leftovers in the fridge and the array of frozen pizzas in the freezer, I move to the pantry, where I can catch a sight of a can of chicken and dumpling soup. That'll work. Comfort food. It is then. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that. So real though. Oh, it's so sad. Eat. Also, I didn't mention this, but Genzo's place was so much more orderly than I expected, but it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I think that also contributes to the blindness, because, like, blind people have to have a very, like, they can't move their furniture around or anything like that. It has to be, like, clean so that they don't trip over things, things. I don't know if he cleans it himself or he has somebody come in and clean for him, but it'll be easier for him to navigate if that's the case. So I do know that because I lived with my blind uncle forever, basically, and we always had to keep his particular area clean, and then, like, where his pathways of walking clean. The soup adequately warmed, I place the bowl in Genzo's lap. He doesn't move. Genzo, you need to eat something. I see his shoulders slump. His gaze turns vaguely towards the bowl sitting on his legs. But still, he makes no move to touch it. Just forget it then. Feed him if you have to. This is baby Genzo? I'm all about it right now. I want to do this for the rest of my life. He might be broken, but I'll fix him. Also, this caretaking scene makes you melt. You know what? It's like, it's sad, but I'm getting the goods as well. This is masterful. I'm liking it. I'm not letting him wallow away his misery without something in his stomach. He needs to eat, yes. And if that means caring for him like a sick patient, then so be it. With a little sigh of exasperation, I grabbed the bowl back from his lap, careful not to let it spill, then raised a small spoonful to his lips. The thought Genzo would actually be enjoying this if he wasn't, in, like, the worst place ever right now. Open. Nothing. He just sits there like a bump on a log, gaze vacant. Genzo, please. And then a half a beat later. For me? Not for me! Iggy. Naughty. I see Genzo blink, his eyes flickering upwards with a little twitch. Finally, he gives a little grunt, his mouth opening a fraction of an inch. Thank you. I ladle in it and carefully watch him slosh it around in his mouth, swallow. He doesn't even bother pretending to look in my direction. His face is gray and sallow. His hair is frazzled mess, and already boulder-sized bags are forming beneath his eyes. I raise another spoonful. It takes less prodding this time, his mouth cracking open the second the metal touches his lips. He got a little mustache. He's got a little 5 o'clock shadow. There you go. I wipe at the dribble that makes it its way down his chin. You, called me earlier? I don't really know why I asked. To make conversations, perhaps. But I don't expect him to answer, and he doesn't. Just grunts. I bring another spoonful of soup to his mouth. I was in a pretty bad way, too, this morning. A pause, and he sips it up. A little, down the mouth, as my dad would say. I laugh to myself. We never hear much about Iggy's parents. Apparently he doesn't have a great relationship with them, so I wonder if that's ever going to be relevant. But they don't seem, like, abusive or anything. They just kind of seem, like, out of touch, I guess. So, like, just not great terms. Genzo doesn't return the sentiment. I grimace and return my gaze to the soup. He always says weird things, though. Another spoonful. He slurps it loudly this time. Anyway, I'm sorry. For everything. That I missed your call. My fingers tighten around the handle of the spoon and sink with the knot in my gut. I wasn't there for him. I've never been there for him. I've never been there for anyone. Not really true, but also not truly false either. It's kind of a mixed bag. I let the conversation trail off into silence, focusing instead on the soup. Genzo just keeps staring at the far wall. We're having fun! Getting him from the couch to the bed proves easier than I expect. It only takes a slight prodding to get him to his feet, a light tug on his sleeve to get him to follow. He's like a dog at my heels, stopping when I stop, moving when I move. I hook my index finger in his and guide him towards the door, or the bed. Get some rest, yeah? You'll feel better in the morning. A grunt of affirmation and he sinks into the mattress. I watch him for a moment, just lying there, covers to his chin. Okay, I'm gonna make a prediction. If this doesn't come to pass, it's fine, but parallels... Okay, how Genzo ended up lying in the first place. He was comforting Iggy when he was really scared of storms in the bed. So Iggy did that now, full circle, to comfort him while he's going through his shit. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Worse even than mine, no doubt. Thinking about it sums a wave of nausea in my belly, so I try to push it from my mind. I'll, be in the other room in case you need anything. I scratch at my head, then my calf. Start to turn away, only to feel a tug at the hem of my shirt. I look back to see Genzo's finger hooked in the fabric. He's got his face half buried in the blankets, jaw tight. I stand there silently. He lies there silently. Then finally, so quiet I almost don't hear. Stay. I swallow so loud it feels like it echoes off the walls. Squeeze my eyes shut. Open them again. About a gazillion flashes of memory shuffle across my mind like a deck of cards and a choose-your-own trauma poker. Choose-your-own trauma poker. Okay, again. Yes! I want you to stay. You know the one. In the end, though, my heart wins out. My heart, we're all just suffering together. One of those choices is for monsters, exactly. Sorry, you're gonna have to put a gun in my head to do that. At least on the first playthrough. The part of my heart that still warms at the thought of his arms around me. That aches at the intimate moment we'd once shared, despite it feeling like a lifetime ago. Sure, again. I'll stay. The words bring a tremble to my lips. Oh. And as I sit down cross-legged at the head of the bed, rear end sinking into the cushion of the mattress, his hands find my ankle, fingers folding softly atop the fabric. Then his body curls inward, forward, forehead pressed to the side of my thigh as his eyes flutter closed. I watch him for a moment in curious silence. My gaze flicks back and forth between the 2 points of contact, my mind focusing in on them, the tingling warmth his touch provides. And when I let myself lean back against the headboard, my gaze going towards the ceiling, my lips curl unconsciously into a smile. I'll stay as long as you need me. Yeah, we're not going nowhere. We're in this for life, baby. I eventually fall asleep, though the sleep isn't entirely restful. By the time I wake up around the 3 a.m, I've slid halfway down the headboard, and at that point I manage to find a strewn shark plush on the floor and position it behind my head for a bit of extra support, after which I drift back into a dream-ridden sleep. The next time I open my eyes, it's a little after 8. I rub at my eyes with a muttered hum, gaze off in confusion at my surroundings. I'd lost my glasses at some point. They're on the floor next to Genzo's slippers, and after lobbing them somewhat clumsily back on my nose, I start to make a bit more sense of up from down. Ah, yes, Genzo's apartment, with the man himself still snoring away beneath the tangled mass of covers next to me. I scratch lazily at my neck and I take in my surroundings. There's a sense of dreamlike surrealness to all of it, before sliding off the sheets and wandering towards the kitchen. Coffee would do me good right about now. It only takes 5 minutes battling with Genzo's coffee maker before the reassuring sounds of percolations hit my ears. It's a comforting hum, normal and real and tangible in the midst of whatever the hell is going on. Watching the slowly dripping liquid fall into the pot is almost enough to hypnotize me into a sort of slice of life complacency. If only. Almost. Then as I'm searching the cupboards for mugs, the sound of footsteps fills my hand. Iggs. I look back. Oh, he looks a little bit more normal. Genzo's in the door of the kitchen, gaze pointed vaguely in my direction. Yeah, it's me. A pause. I turn away from the cupboards. You were a little, I wave my hand as though it'll somehow put words in my mouth, but it doesn't, and my voice trails off as expected. Genzo just grunts. He runs a thumb along his brow with a furrowed wince. I remembered you, but wasn't sure if it was some kind of fever dream of mine hacked up. A cough. Guess not, though. Nope, it's, me in the flesh. Or at least last time I checked. I cringe and tug at my collar, feeling more awkward by the second. Why does it have the same energy as that some kind of one-night stand? Oh no! You want some coffee? As if in a direct response, the coffee maker gurgles. Sure, that'd be great. Thanks. A pause. Guess I'll maybe go shower. Sure thing. But he doesn't move. He just stands there, gaze pointed downward as he scratches the back of his head. He opens his mouth, closes it, opens it again, then simply turns around with a grunt, disappearing back into the apartment. My shoulders release the tension I hadn't known they'd been sequestering. Diamond, don't be rude. Can't you tell I'm reading here? Once the coffee is ready, not reading, I bring 2 mugs of it back into the living area, seating myself with a slump down in the couch cushions. He's back to his normal self. He does look a little different this time, huh? Are there just different sprites for this time? Or am I making this up? Because I could have swore he looks a little different. Genzo returns about 10 minutes later, looking considerably more alive and donning his usual cap. Your coffee's on the table. Oh, right, thanks. He sits on the opposite end of the couch, reaches for the mug, fingers staking out the porcelain surface before curling around the handle with the tug. He brings it to his lips once, twice. Thanks, he says again, either because he'd forgotten or simply wanted to emphasize his gratitude further. And then we sit there, both of us drinking our coffee, silent aside from the occasional sniff, the intermittent slurp. His eyes are a little different for his blind version, but I don't know if there are other dips. Yeah, I could have sworn just like the hair was shorter, but I feel like I'm just kind of like conjuring it up in my brain. I turn my gaze to Genzo, wanting to say something, needing to say something, but every time the words get themselves caught in the back of my throat, almost like a fleshy pink fly trap has parked itself in my larynx. Nice. Genzo is the first to finally speak, the suddenness of it making my hands jump. I'm, gonna assume that you two, I blink, shift my legs. He doesn't finish, but I don't expect him to. Yeah, I simply say. He winces. Pretty crazy. Yeah. Not that it, doesn't make sense somehow, but with all the fucking deja vu shit going on, But also, like, holy fuck, how many times have we, yeah. Will you say something more than yeah? I jump in my seat, spilling coffee up onto my hands. Sorry, Genzo rubs at his eyes, sighs. No, it's fine. Sorry. I set my mug in my lap. My fingers are shaking. Do you want to talk about it? To be honest, no fucking way in hell. The only reason I'm not quivering pile of unintelligible goo right now is because I've managed to temporarily shove all that fucked up shit I went through down in the recesses of my shit chute. He's back. That's a problem for future Genzo to sort out, and future Genzo's therapist. If future Genzo even makes it out of whatever insane bedtime story from hell that we've been going on here. Yeah. Genzo brings a hand to his mouth, fingers forging divots in his cheeks as he gazes off towards the far wall. I assume the others... Fuck the others, he says. Okay, kind of real. Like, he says with this snap, a fiery anger that jostles the coffee in his cup. Fuck them, fuck them, fuck them. He clenches, his eyes shut, pressing his knuckles against his lips. And I say nothing, I just sit there watching him. Finally, sorry, I didn't mean that. It's okay. His knuckles are so tight against his teeth now I worry he'll break skin. But he eventually eases off, traces of tears in the corners of his eyes. I feel like I need time, but there isn't enough time. There will never be enough time to... He rubs his face first up, then down, takes a sip of coffee. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to fucking do. And for the first time in my life, I can't even fake it. Oh, that's so sad. I stare at him, waiting for him to continue perhaps, but he doesn't. I turn my gaze back to my coffee, watching them rising steam marble in the air. We need to go back. I say it without really thinking. A matter-of-fact statement. The one thing amongst all the questions we have about what's going on. Oh, whoops, sorry. About the horrors we experienced about us. The two of us. What happened between us and what we even fucking are and where we even wanna fucking go from here. Where we should go from here. The one thing we can be sure of. I trace my thumbs around the rim of my mug. Something's changed. Something is different. Something's broke. I don't know. I don't have any idea what's going on or why or anything, but there must be a reason, right? A pause. And I just think this might be our only chance to fix it. Another pause. If there even is a way to fix this. Yeah, Genzo finally says, though his tone is begrudging. Because he knows. I know he knows. And he knows that I know that he knows. That shared acceptance that something is calling us there. And that something will keep calling us there. Whether we remember the loops or not, things are going to just stop. Things aren't just going to stop. Not before we fix what we started. Genzo's hand is resting on the couch cushion next to him. Do nothing. We're leaving that Iggy in Arc fucking 3, okay? He can't come back here. Get lost! I'm not sure if it's the anxiety plaguing my stomach or joy making the right choices, but the feeling I need to reassure him. Or perhaps something else I'm not quite ready to admit yet. But I find myself reaching out, hesitant to enclose his knuckles with my palm. I give his hand the slightest of squeezes, his fingers soft between mine. He gives a small start. He's scared of. Then his gaze turns in my direction, eyes wide at first before softening. His lips press into a tiny smile as he clenches his thumb against my fingers. Well, a little nicey nice sprinkled in here and there. We try calling Gidget and Orlum later. I'm not entirely sure why, as we both know it'll be no use. Sure, things may be a bit clearer now, but that doesn't mean things have changed completely. We all still have our paths, if that's the right way to put it. As expected, neither of them pick up. They're already gone. After that, there's nothing to do but wait. We obviously can't go until nightfall. That's just how it works, or something. So I run back home to shower and put on a fresh shirt. I do wonder what broke it. Like, if there is a thing that's kind of breaking the cycle for them to even remember. I don't know if there's going to be an actual explanation, or maybe it just happens so many times that at some point it's just like, okay, You know, the brain breaks, I don't know. Gotta look my best for our trip down the tree after all. And as I'm headed out, I catch a glimpse of my messenger bag hanging off the back of the... Not this fucking messenger bag. Had it always been there? I don't know. I stop, stare at it for a moment, then walk towards it, telling myself the shudder running up the back of my neck is simply post-shower chills. Just as I reach my hand out, however, my phone rings. I about leap out of my skin. With a grumble and a shake of my head, I yank the phone from my pocket, assuming it's Genzo telling me to hurry my ass up or something, but it's... I stop, dead where I stand, not moving a muscle, not even breathing. The name on the caller ID says... Bucks. Okay, that's a fucking plot twist. What? I swallow hard, my mouth suddenly extremely dry. Then, hand trembling, I bring the phone to my ear. Bucks? My voice doesn't even sound like my own, all scratchy, hoarse, squeaks and jumps. There's no response on the other end. I furrow my brows, keen my ears. No, there is something. Something far off, as though across a mighty chasm on the other side of the world. A baby crying. Bucks? I try again. The crying gets louder, lonely and screeching. Why isn't someone tending to it? It's so alone. Even louder now. The sound of it fills me with a guttural sense of desolation, of heartache, of bone-aching sadness. Don't cry. Please don't cry. I can fix this. I can make you happy. So please don't... The speaker blares with a sudden unearthly bellow, the monstrous crackling and deafening, and there, right there inside me for a second. And fuck if I don't literally toss the phone across the room with a gasp, my hand to my collar and my heart beating clean out of my chest. What the hell? I stand there and stare at it, innocent and innocuous, just sitting there on the carpet. I take my hands away from my throat, not even having realized I'd thrown them there. Swallow. Swallow again. Then walk towards it. I lift it gingerly between my middle finger and thumb, almost as though picking up a testy crab. Bring it to my ear. Nothing. The line just goes dead. No more crying, no more horrific howl from the depths of hell. I sigh and rub at my face. I need to get back to Genzo. All of a sudden, being alone feels intolerable. I need someone's presence to keep me from slip-sliding straight into the abject despondency. I need his presence to keep me from slip-sliding straight into abject despondency. Maybe. Fuck, I don't know. I shake my head and shove my phone into my pocket, then spot my messenger bag still hanging off the back of the kitchen chair. I grab it without thinking. Okay, so this is the first time we're bringing the bag with us to Wonderland. Was this all we needed to do before? Can you imagine? I shove open the door. We just didn't have something convenient to carry our things. To carry the tomatoes. The tomato man's corpses. Genzo is smoking on the couch upon my return. He barely looks up at the sound of my entrance, just gazing off vacantly at the far wall as he taps his cigarette between his fingers. I will never forget those tomatoes. Bits of ash decorate the coffee table beneath his trembling hand, and I see 3, 4, 5 discarded, but yeah, I can imagine he's just still full glass of water I'd left him with. I step towards the couch, stand there, shift back and forth, heel toe. You, okay? I finally ask, wincing at the sound of my own voice. Genzo just grunts. He brings the cigarette to his lips, takes a long drag. I watch the smoke twist and curl its way up to the ceiling, wondering if I should say something about the ceiling turning yellow, then decide again. Yeah, don't say that. Instead, I let my gaze fall back to the cigarette. He's bouncing it between his teeth now, up, down, up, down. The sight sends snapshots of memories through my mind. The two of us sitting on the bike rack, cigarette smoking, marbling it through the night sky. I think it's storming outside as well, which is really adding to this, by the way. Not Snapchats, yeah. God damn it. The smell of alcohol in his breath. The two of us on the bench outside Grubb's pub. The chill of the wood beneath my seat. The damp wetness on his shoulder from where my tears had stained his jacket. Just being with that person would be enough. Oh, that's one of my favorite scenes, I think, in, like, the whole game. Like, easily. Like, top 3 for sure. I slapped the heel of my hand against my forehead in a series of incessant thwaps, which perhaps roused Genzo, because he snuffs his cigarette out on the table and stands up with a clap of his thighs. You ready to go? His smile appears overly wide. Yeah. He wanders towards the door, feeling for the cane hanging from the peg to its right, then stands there twisting his hands back and forth around the tip. I walk towards him, blinking, shift my feet. What? His hands stop, fingers instead latching tight onto the grip. I tilt my head to the side, waiting. I just wanted to ask, before we start all this over again, My shoulders go instantly tense, and my heart starts thudding so loudly I swear he has to be able to hear it. Everything was real, right? Like, there's not some, like, fake memories hanging out in there, are there? No, babe. I don't think so? I guess I can't say for absolute sure, though. A pause. Why? You... Figure it out, Iggy. 2 plus 2, come on. The same half mumble of uncertainty. I swallow hard, all of a sudden really wishing I could disappear inside my shoes. He closes his eyes, opens them. Iggs, a wince. Then he seems to set his jaw. I just want you to know that no matter what happens, He reaches forward to take my shoulder. Only his fingers grab the strap of my messenger bag instead, and he immediately stops. I see him blink. What's this? Now it's my turn to blink. I'd completely forgotten about the bag. I clutch the bag between my hands as Genzo's fingers follow the strap down to the flap, feeling it out. Just what? Why had I brought it? I open the bag and start fishing about inside as there's something. That's when I feel it. Small and soft, its hair curling around my fingers. I pull it out. A doll. Its button eyes stare up at me and its cotton body sits limply in my palm. What is it? I find my voice caught in my throat for a moment, unable to breathe. Please kill me, Iggy. Well, I mean, the Sadie doll allegations are only getting stronger by the moment. You fell in love in a timeline. Ugh. A cold shiver of dread twists and coils up from the base of my spine. A doll. A doll? I hand it to Genzo, unable to endure it, touching my skin any longer. Then I watch him feel it out with his thumbs. Didn't know you were the type to play with dolls, Iggs. He cracks a smile. It's not mine. Okay, it doesn't matter if it is or not. Yeah, that's what they all say. I swear it's not. I have no idea how it got there. In fact, it looks a lot like... There's a knock on the door. It's not even that loud. But the fact that it's right next to us and right at a moment... What is going on? Where our nerves are doing who the fuck knows what makes both of us jerk backwards like we've just been electrocuted. Fuck. A cold sweat is already breaking out along the back of my neck. Flashes of light and pain and panic shooting up through my skull. Were you expecting someone? I eke out, throat tight and trying to sound normal. The fucking Grim Reaper here to send this series of unfortunate events, maybe. How the fuck am I supposed to know? Genzo shuffles towards the door, feels for the knob, pulls it open. It's... Hi, Hunar! Hunar jolts backwards at the sudden movement. He's so cute. We don't see enough Hunar. That's one complaint. We don't see enough Hunar. His soft brown eyes meet mine, widening momentarily as they take us in. He's still got his hand raised, poised to knock again, but he quickly drops it, clasping his hands nervously instead. Oh, you're both here. Hunar? Genzo cocks his head to the side. Hunar winces, looking very much like a scared puppy as he glances back and forth between us. I've been calling and calling, but nobody's picked up. Shit, that's right. I hadn't answered. I'm pretty goddamn sure Genzo hadn't answered. And if other two had experienced anything at all like the two of us had, then they most likely hadn't answered either. So Hunar had met nothing but a voicemail. Not a single one of his friends had picked up. Shame washes through me like a foamy soda pop straight up my nose. Sorry, I look from Hunar to Genzo and back again. We what? I shake my head. You want to come in? Hunar steps inside, with a little dip of his head. Oh, glancing around the room. He looks like the slightest noise would send him cowering to the corner. I turn my gaze back to Genzo, then to the doll to his hands. So that's why Hunar was absent and now he's here, because we ignored his ass. He stands up, ramrod straight, shoving it behind his back. I don't know why, but Hunar starts talking, voice low. I almost feel like you already know. Genzo takes one step towards me. Oh, he's remembering shit too? That's weird, right? Like, how could you know? A self-deprecating laugh. I can't sleep, can't eat, I can't even cry anymore. It's like I'm in some kind of horrible nightmare I can't wake up from. Genzo dives towards me in an attempt to return the doll to the bag. He's like, I can't see this shit. Between my surprised jolt and his harried prods, however, he misses the bag entirely and shoves the doll back of my pants instead. Hunar chooses that moment to turn around. He blinks. Gaze flicking between Genzo and Genzo's fingers still clutching the hem of my pants. Yeah, this is weirder than it needed to be. I tense. Hunar's brows furrow. My brows twist. Going after her, aren't you? He takes a step towards us, eyes quivering. My shoulders sink at the release of built-up tension, and Genzo pulls away. Neither one of us says anything. I don't know what's going on, but I just want her back. Hinar curls his arms around his chest, fingers digging into the skin. It's all my fault. It's probably not. Now he's shaking. Would you tell her I'm sorry? It's not your fault, Hunar, I finally say, voice catching in my throat. It is! The sudden sharpness of his tone catches me off guard and I feel my heart give a jump. It is, he says again. You don't understand, Iggy. She could have been someone great if it weren't for me. I've done nothing but hold her back. No! Now I'm not sure what to say, so I stand silent. Even Genzo doesn't even have any kind of quippy response. She was my best friend. How did it all come to this? I just don't understand. He brings his hands to his face, arms trembling. I feel like I need to do something, so I take a step towards him, bring a hand to his shoulder. Hunar, it's not. I pull my hand away, then place it back. I don't know what to do with it. It's really not your fault. None of this is. It happens. You know, that's interesting because, Iggy, you could use a little bit of that. Weren't you also freaking out in Arc 1? Hunar looks a lot like Iggy. What the fuck? I'm just now realizing. They both have glasses, both have curly hair. That's all I'm saying. Chatter! I swear I didn't even see your message. I just said that. I just said it. You didn't even give me a second. Give me a moment. I should have been more adamant. Look, shoulda, coulda, wouldas, guys. Shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Blue, yellow, opposites. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I should have been more adamant. He grabs the front of my shirt with an abrupt jerk. She was always forgetting to take them, you know? And I knew she hadn't. But she was so excited, we both were, all hyped up after the campus tour, and her hearing back from the club about playing for them. Everything just seemed like it was falling into place, and should it take them? Is it like birth control? As he trails off, he lets himself slump forward against my chest. I feel myself becoming more and more uncomfortable by the black hair, white hair, Hunar's dark hair and tan, and Iggy is an albino. Not albino. I throw a completely pointless glance at Genzo, then bring an awkward arm around Hunar's shoulders. So just tell her I'm sorry. A sniff. Tell her I want to come home. Another sniff. That we'll figure things out. Work through this. I bite down on my tongue, heart heavy. We will. Iggy! Genzo hisses, and I see him cock his head in disapproval. What? There's no point in hiding it! I throw my arms out with a shrug. I guess. I was assuming some sort of medication for a mental disorder. That's what I thought originally, but then I was like, I don't know, birth control felt a little bit more, yeah, because, I mean, she didn't want the fucking kid, so, and if she would have kept taking it, then she wouldn't have gotten pregnant and then had to, like, put everything else aside, basically. That's my guess, but I did immediately also think antidepressants as well. I mean, maybe both, for all I fucking know. I don't know. I'm like, looking at the corner reminds you of Orlov Ballroom. See, yeah! All the parallels. Hunar finally pulls away, wiping his nose on the back of his arm. Thanks. He looks up, down. I see his brows furrow, then pop up. He begins pulling at his collar. There's a flash of silver as he pulls something out from around his neck. Take this? I hold out my hand, and he places a small leather-corded necklace into my palm. A single pewter charm hangs from the end, 2 axes crossed in front of each other. These fucking axes, dude. I'd be lying if I said my heart didn't skip a beat. What's this? Our good luck charm. She has mine. A pause. If she even still wears it. I twist the dull silver between my fingers, taking in its design. Why axes, though? Yeah, that's a great question. Oh. Hunar laughs, brings his hand to his head with a sheepish grin. That's mostly an inside joke from our D&D days. She was always a berserker in the group. Quite the handful, too. You don't know how many of my carefully laid plot lines she completely obliterated. Sounds like her. You guys played D&D? I'm like, imagine doing that. Imagine doing that last week. Cringe. Yeah, he rubs at his neck, gaze falling. We used to do a lot of things. I'm sure I'm starting to realize how little I actually know about the two of them. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up, Iggy. They'd always felt a bit removed from the group somehow, doing their own thing. But not exactly unexpected. Kind of hard to have romantic moments with us 4 losers weirding up the vibe and also simping after all of it, like this weird love square going on and then happily couple over here. Anyway, it's probably stupid. Maybe it'll help somehow. I closed my hand around the metal. They were our promises to each other, that no matter what, we keep fighting for our dreams. I squeeze it into my palm so tight the ridges cut into my skin. Okay. Once Hular leaves, we start our trek. Time to fall down the hole again. It feels strange. It's really adding to the atmosphere. Past the darkened houses, the buzzing streetlights. Knowing now just how many times I've walked this path before. Many, many, many times. I pat my pocket, perhaps in some aimless search for a reassurance they're still there. Both the doll and Hunar's necklace. Then let my gaze flick to Genzo, silent as he rolls the tip of his cane back and forth across the sidewalk. I found my eyes fixated on it for a moment, on that bulky marshmallow as it glides back and forth, like a flickering will-o-wisp in the night. It keeps the anxiety in my stomach at bay, holding back jittery thoughts about what awaits us, and where we'll both stand after all this is over. Who fucking knows? We're quiet as we walk. From one street to the next, the meandering path towards my old house, just south of the outcropping of the woods that somehow hasn't been built over even after all these years. My palm is starting to tingle, a pinprick-like scratching that jumps from one nerve ending to the next and making my fingers twitch. I bring my hand up, curl my fingers inward, embrace it. Hey, got the sunglasses on. Genzo comes to a stop first, and when I glance over, I see why. The familiar gap between the house, the empty lot with its grass tufts and dandelions, and that looming shadow of the woods beyond. We're there, aren't we? Genzo asked. We are. They're words that we've spoken before, but it doesn't matter. Why seek out new when the old will work just fine? You scared out of your fucking mind, or is it just me? I'm scared too. They really need to bulldoze this fucking boss to the ground. Genzo sighs and trudges forward. I expend the energy for a short jog to catch up, then fall into a step beside him. We reach the tree threshold just as a gust of wind curls up and under my shirt, sending goosebumps across my back. This time we don't even stop. Why would we? There's nothing to question at this point, nothing to doubt. There's only one way forward, so we carry straight into the trees. The air instantly cools. It's a damp chill, the kind that sticks to your skin and weighs down your chest. I press forward through the scattered brush, using my hands to keep from walking face first into a tree. I can hear Genzo's cane whipping around the grass and snapping against bark behind me. I barely pay attention the way I'm going, but it doesn't matter. I'll end up there anyway. I could turn around and walk straight the fuck back, and I'd still end up there at this point. It's inside me now. I can feel it, swirling up within me, like one of those cartoons where the smoke turns into a beckoning hand, curling up beneath my chin and guiding me forward. Thank you for that imagery. I close my eyes and simply follow. Colder. Snips and snaps and prickling the hairs on my arms, my heart echoing off my ribcage. Now the feeling is traveling up my neck, caressing my cheeks, coiling through my hair. A gentle touch, cool and sweet as it welcomes me back. I came to stop. I don't even need to touch it this time. I know we're here. Genzo's cane whaps against my ankles and he stops too. I'm not gonna say anything about the weird-ass paternal vibes I just got there for a second, okay? Shit's weird enough as is. I say as though I didn't literally just bring it up now. God damn, I really never stop talking, do I? How have you not? Like, slap me straight across the mouth at this point. Because we love you! Again. Alright, I got it. Genzo takes a step forward through the brush, thumbing his cane against the tree. Our tree. Where's Paul Bunyan when you need him? Am I right? Yeah, that would fix our problems. I move towards the hole, popping a squat against the weeds, twitch my nose in expectation. But the scent that just curls up inside my nostrils isn't sweet, it's dank. Why? Sour. Rotten. Is it gonna be worse than it's ever been before when we go down there? Are you fucking kidding me? I bring a hand to my mouth on instinct. My stomach gives a noxious heave. Fuck. Has it always smelled like the back of my dad's old station wagon? Because golly fuckery, doesn't that smell like pee? It just smells like piss? Whoever remodeled the joint needs to be a pink slip pronto. He's not wrong. There's something almost urinary about the smell and sticky. I feel clammy. What the fuck is going on? I feel clammy sweat break out on my forehead as it sends uncomfortable pangs of nausea through my bowels. Something's wrong. You don't say. No, like really wrong. I shake my hands, fingers clawing inwards as my muscles tense. My breath is starting to accelerate. I guess it's a good thing we're here to fix it then. Yeah, I swallow, then grab the round edges of the hole and peek inside, leaning forward on my toes. Or die horrible deaths and have inhuman atrocities performed on our mutilated corpses, but that's basically par for the course for us at this point. Am I right or am I right? You're right! Genzo laughs and slaps me on the back, which knocks me clean off balance, rocking forward on the balls of my feet and towards the gaping hole. I panic, hands flailing and reaching for the edges. My fingers find them momentarily, but my momentum must be too great because one second my nails are digging into the bark, and the next they've slipped off entirely. The rough surface scraping off my finger pads as I tip. The last thing I hear as my stomach shoots up towards my throat is Genzo's bemused, "Whoops." He even knows, he's like, yeah, he's just gonna fall again. Before toppling straight into the hole. We never change, do we? The darkness swallows me. Hey, Iggy, what's up, Iggy? What do you want? Nothing? I'm falling, of course I'm falling. None of this is new. I'm going to fall, and then I'm going to land in a big pile of animals, and Genzo's going to be there, and he's going to look at me and say some stupid shit. Because that's what always happens. That's how this thing works, right? The wind whips at my hair, summoning water to my eyes. The smell is all around me, rancid and decaying. It threatens to summon bile to the back of my throat. What am I even doing? What are any of us doing? Why is this happening to us? We're not special or anything. We're just 5 normal people living normal lives and trying to figure things out. Trying to find our own versions of happiness. On and on and on I fall. Complete nothingness surrounds me, consuming me. I tried so hard to fix things. Fix them. Why aren't they happy? Why can't I make them happy? That's what friendship is, isn't it? Making the other person happy? That's the only way they'll like me. The only way I'll fit in. Iggy. They're responsible for their own feelings, Iggy. Even though you should just be there for them and help them figure it out. Welcoming me. Tempting me. Tempt? Yeah, it needs me. Needs me to make any wish. Needs me to make my wish. What do you want, Iggy? I think back to my many paths I've taken. My eyes are so bad. I just needed to clean my glasses real fast. Okay. I think back to the many paths I've taken. The moments I've experienced. Shared. The faces of my friends. The twists and turns of my heart. What do you wish for more than anything else in the whole world? For my friends to be happy! And me. I don't know. I don't know. What do you want from me? I bring my hands to my face, palm pressing into my eyes. The memories are coming faster now. Brilliant white flashes fizzling like after images across the surface of my eyes. Kissing Genzo. We did do that. Remember when that happened? This is a new CG though, so I was like, ooh. Oh, hi girl. Holding hands with Gidget. The first image of Orlov at Arc 5, and it's just when he gives you this look. Oh lord. I love it. Lying in bed with Orlov. I love a goofy little face. I tried so hard. Tried to give them all what they wanted. But you're only one person. Little Iggy, you kissed Gidget too, though? Yeah, we only remember the Genzo kiss. That was the significance. Holding Gidget's hand was obviously more important. Isn't that enough? There's not enough of me. It doesn't matter how many times I try. What do I want? I don't... Do we want to start with Genzo first? I mean, we're already here, and I feel like that's the order you're supposed to do it in. Don't think about anyone. Just think about us. We're thinking about Genzo. We gotta start off strong, guys. I always want to save Genzo for last, but I just can't. I legitimately can't. I try every time, and it just doesn't work. I guess this is the beginning of the route selection. I didn't know we were going to jump right to it, but alright. My thoughts jumped instinctively to Genzo. Immediately to Genzo, because that's all my brain ever wants to think about. Of the moments we shared. Of the feelings of safety he provided. The rain. I do feel safe around him. Like nothing could ever touch me. A place of acceptance. Where only the two of us matter. Of love? Maybe. The feeling of his arms around me. My head against his chest. I feel... God, I don't know. This is all so confusing. I don't know what I want. I press my hands into my eyes harder and harder. Why can't I? Why can't I? My body curls in on itself. Heart beating. Just leave me alone! My eyes feel liquid hot, tingling with tears, tingling with overwhelming guilt and heartache and cruel and unbearable need to be cared about, to be accepted, to be loved. The feeling moves into my fingers, first tiny nibbles of numbness, then building into incessant zaps of electricity. Up, my arms they go, growing and growing into my chest, into my stomach, shooting down into my legs. I think the route selection is based on your cumulative choices. Oh. And loud, so loud I can't hear, can't think. Just when I think I can't take it anymore. My mind goes blank. So we still didn't make a wish, so that means we're going to save the wish for the end. But maybe our wish is what actually fixes everything this time. And not be like, I just want this to end. But if it does end, maybe it's in a good way. I don't know. I'm making a lot of predictions. There's a long way to go before we get to that point. So, Iggy, there's something crunchy below me. An itchy, chalky clump of something all jutting into my side. Oh, so it's not going to be stuffed animals this time. Lumpy pillow filled with beans. Iggy? Damn, I'm so tired. My eyes feel like they've gotten two great big rocks perched on them. And my limbs feel like lead. Awkwardly placed lead, but lead all the same. Can't I get 5 more minutes? Maybe if I sleep long enough, I'll wake up and this will all have turned out to be some grisly, trauma-inducing nightmare. Yeah, nightmare. My eyebrows furrow and even my lethargic half-sleep. A nightmare I can't seem to fucking wake up from. No magical prince to kiss me and make all this go away. Yet. Speaking of. Fuck, Iggs, you're not dead, are you? No, he's our knight. Gidget's our prince. Wait a minute. My eyes snap open, only to focus instantly on Genzo. Currently about 5 centimeters from my face and staring so intently, he might as well trying to bore holes through my skull. I blanch. Genzo oh, the place is destroyed, then pulls back with a start. So it's not even trying to tempt us this time. It's just like, nah, this place sucks, and now you know it sucks. So, do something about it. Coughs into his hand. Oh good, you were, out for a lot longer than normal, or at least, like, longer than I remembered you ever being. Not that you pass out often, I just meant, like, here? Like, every time we've fallen down this godforsaken root chute? He pulls his hat off his head, molds it between his hands. Thought you might brought the proverbial farm on me there for a second. An overly zealous laugh. And goddamn if I'm not gonna go through this whole Halloween special of HR fucking stuff myself. So did he just think we were dead? I bring a palm to my forehead, squeeze my eyes shut, then open, and look around. This is not what I've been expecting. I stand up so fast I nearly stumble forehead. My knees quivering like jelly, sorry. What happened here? I finally managed to croak. Genzo seems to relax some. The mountain-sized crease in his forehead at least disappears. Lucy says hi. She's sitting on my lap watching me. Hi, Lucy! Hi, little baby! He tugs his cap. That's how you speak to cats. Imagine if I talked to all my chatters like that. Hi, Gwen! And it's like, stop. Stop. He tugs his cap back over his curls. Yeah, someone really went to town here, huh? Fucking postal. The cottage is not a cottage. Well, it's not really. Not anymore. Half burned to the ground around us. Somebody burnt this place? You could call it a residence, let alone a cozy domicile. The once sweet and cheery walls are now ashen and charred. What furniture still remains has been busted in half or chopped into scraps. In the roof. There is no roof. I stare up at the greenish-gray sky, my stomach curling in on itself as wind whistles through the blistering holes in the wall to play with my hair. Someone mad we didn't share the cookies, maybe? Genzo kicks... Was this a, like, rebellion? Did they know that we were coming, so they just burnt it to the fucking ground to kill us or something? I don't know. Genzo kicks at a broken bowl lying in the soot near his foot. I don't respond to his attempt at a joke, instead turning my gaze to the pile of animals I'd just been lying in. The pile is still there, but they're a mingled mess of melted fur and plastic, splotchy charcoal stains decorating what remains their once woolly forms. I received their left streaky black stains all over my backside and quickly attempt to brush the chalk from my clothes. Glad to see things haven't become too fucked up beyond all reason after the great reveal. Wouldn't that be the shits, huh? But why would I take a step out into the cottage proper, towards where the table used to be? Now all that remains is a circle on the floor where it once stood, the surrounding wood smeared with ash and grit. Why does anything that happens down here happen, Iggy? It's as inexplicable as my cravings for mayonnaise on pizza. I've learned to just stop questioning it. You know what? Live your life. She yawned very big and she just woke up and immediately comes and cuddles for more lap time. How precious. That's exactly what we need right now. Mayo on pizza is pretty common in Japan, actually. That makes sense. Well, you know what? Y'all do you. I'm not gonna shame it. Okay, I will say, I mean, everybody has weird food cravings. Like, I like mustard on popcorn. I'm sure that's weird as fuck. Like, everybody does some weird stuff. Some people think pineapple on pizza is gross. I disagree. But, you know. Lucy is protecting us against the horrors. She's doing a great job. Genzo picks up one of the strewn chairs and gingerly places it upright. It immediately collapses in on itself. But this never happened before. I spread my arms in empathetic person. Yeah, and we've never... What if... And we've never remembered what a fucky-wucky little hellhole it is down here before either. What's your point? I let my arms drop. That anxious jitters in my gut have amplified 10 times past what I'm feeling back on the surface. Yes, a part of me had expected some things to be different, but this is... I curl my arms around my chest, feeling the crushing weight start closing in on me from all sides. What if this was wrong? What if we should have run for the hills? Gotten far the hell away from this place? What if this time things will be worse? So much worse. Hard to imagine given everything that's already happened, but somehow not a single bit of me doubts that this place can make that happen, and we just waltz straight back out of our own volition. I close my eyes, clench them. My chest is growing tight, breath hardly shallow on my lips, but a sudden touch on my shoulder jousts me back into reality. I jerk back with a start. Hey, you okay? Genzo. I turn towards him, looking him up and down. His face is taut with concern. Just anxious is all. I scratch fervently at the back of my neck. He'd have to be brain dead not to be. And when I don't return it, though, his smile falls. He blinks, looks at me, looks at the ground, then pops his head back up. Hey, didn't I say however the fuck long ago that I'd be your logically sound knight? So you've got nothing to worry about. Sir Genzo the Gallant is back on duty. Okay, things will be fine. This does bring a twitch of a smile to my face. Aren't you missing a sword or something? He points a finger in the air, gaze going skyward. It's at that shop. You'll have to make do with the brawny bouquet of my strong manly arms for now. I bring a hand to my mouth to stifle the snort of laughter. Sorry guys, I'm a simp, okay? Okay! And I see Genzo's eyes soften in relief. I guess I can live with that. I wipe a spot of moisture out of the corner of my eye, then drop my gaze, suddenly feeling a bit shy. Thanks, Genzo. He grins widely. Hey, what are then stops. Coughs. Scratches beneath his cap. Finally, he clasps his hands together in an overzealous jubilance. Anyway, let's vamoose this cauterized caboose before we all get lung cancer. And by we all, I mean you, since it's too late for me anyway. I was gonna make that joke, but he got it. He trundles his way towards the door with only slight trouble bypassing the battered bits of burnt bric-a-brac along the way. Let's see just how fucked up the rest of this mixed spawnals place is, shall we? Not mixed spawnals! He brings his hand to the doorknob. Twist. Why are we opening the door? Only for the entire door to simply collapse in on itself at the touch. He's left standing there with the slightly bronze knob still in his palm. He blinks. Looks upward. Not how things usually work, but okay. Feels like this whole thing could have caved in on us any second, I muse as I wander over. Almost as if on cue, a piece of crispy rafter remnants drops to the floor just to my right. I give a start, practically jumping through the empty door frame and out onto the path. Jumpy much? Genzo chuckles and follows him calmly, like a calm, rational human being. I give a nervous twitch and scratch at my arm. Then turn my gaze to our surroundings. Outside, it does look that different. The pink-hued trees are still there, the softly curved path leading through them, the tufts of grassy foliage on either side of the packed clay, but the sky, something's not quite right with the sky. Green and gray and choked with a sickly veil of clouds, and the whole place has an eerie sense of stillness to it, of silence, calm. The kind that makes the hair on my back of my neck and arms stand up like porcupine quills. Wait a minute. Wasn't there supposed to be some kind of... With a jolt, the memory slams its way into the forefront of my brain, and I twist towards Genzo, grabbing his collar and pulling him up onto his toes. The rabbits! The who and the what now? The rabbits! What are they? They'll be here any second, and we're just standing out here like... I begin fervently scanning our environs, seeking out any sign of movement or stray rabbit spear, ears keen and listening for stomps. But there's nothing. I blink, heartbeat beating in my chest. The eerie calm continues. Genzo brings his hands to grip on my jacket, carefully extricating my fingers with only slight touch of pink on his cheeks. Judging by the state of our childhood glad pad, I'd say they were already here. He calls back down on his heels and then smooths down his front. Either way, though, not sure how much we'll be able to rely on our collective brain stains from here on out. Seems like a lot has changed here, and none of it for the better, I'm guessing. I bring a hand to my hair in semi-awkward acceptance. He's right. He's always right, goddammit. I feel my racing heart start to slow and drop my hands with a sigh. Only for a sudden rustle in the nearby shrub. Is it Cecil? Leaping back up into my voice box. Oh no, it's a fucking rabbit! Who are you? I take a startled step back as the rabbit comes lurching out of the brush. Genzo's arms come so fast it nearly slams straight into my ribs. He shoves me backward, going tense as the rabbit comes. He looks scared. Reeling. Is it Jerry, though? Breath labored, stilted, snarling. Oh? Before promptly collapsing to the ground in front of us. We can only stare in confusion as the rabbit's prostrate form, tendrils of dust from his impact still painting the air. That's when I see the trail of blood. It's leaking from the rabbit's leg, a torn snarl of red slick fur, leaving a vivid stain on the strewn gravel. Don't ask me why that took me so long. He's hurt. My head cocks almost instinctively as I feel curiosity start tugging my feet up forward. Eggs! Genzo hisses, snapping his arms against my gut. And none too soon either. Because in the next second, a second rabbit leaps from the under. What is going on? It lands atop the other. Is somebody killing these rabbits? A blood-curdling shriek, digging its muzzle into the downed rabbit's neck with a squelch. Genzo takes a shocked step backward, nearly sending me tripping over my feet. Then we watch. Watch as the rabbit feeds on his companion. Face is pale, eyes wide and warbling. There's something eerily visceral about the sight. A fleshy rip of skin and muscle. What? The squishy pop of meat ripped between... I feel my stomach flip in growing nausea, and my hands reach instinctively towards Genzo's shoulder, his fingers... This noise! The rabbit suddenly stops. Seems to realize he's being watched. Then raises his head. Genzo and I both tense. There's something off about him, incredibly off. Eyes skittish and wild, muscles jumping. Even his fur looks different, twisted and coiled in a sickly gray, almost as if the color had been drained from its tufts. Ah! Oh my god, actually terrifying? What? How do you make rabbits scary, dog? How? Actually, what? His head, it's hard to look at. The twitches, eyes narrowing, then widening. He begins crawling forward, ears flat and bloody clumps leaking down his chin. Yeah! Genzo backs up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, taking me with him, but it's a futile effort. The rabbit growls, a low, breathy thrum, then leaps. Genzo flies back into me, sending both of us tumbling to the ground, and the rabbit goes sailing past us, rolling towards into the dirt a few feet away. Genzo wastes no time. He scrambles to his feet and grabs my fist, yanking me after him as he takes off towards the trees. I don't have to be told twice, or once even. I go careening after him, feet pounding the ground in time with my galloping heart. Into the trees, past the trees, around the bark and twig and brush. I hear the rabbit give chase. Jesus Christ, this is the worst! Can hear his snarls as through the right in my ear, the thump of his feet against stumps as he... This better not be Jerry! There's a forest behind us. I gas out of breath, trying to focus on my legs. Keep them moving. I'm sorry, all the rabbits look the same. Powering forward. As ahead of me, Genzo ducks and dodges through the whizzing landscape of pink. We burst into a clearing and he stops for a moment, head spinning left and right. My lungs are burning. I let out a ragged cough. Then notice the sounds behind us are gone. I don't trust that. I blink and glance back. Again. The rabbit bound... Yeah, I knew it! It's slamming in... Why is this so much scarier? Back until my spine cracks against a tree, ejecting the breath from me like a... It's the music. Like a punctured airbag. But before I can so much as slide an inch down the bark, the rabbit's iron-gripped hands have my shoulders, pinning me against the wood. My head cracks back with a star-spiraling jolt. Ah! And by the time my vision clears, the rabbit's face is in mine, blood-soaked fur trembling against my chin. He cocks his head to one side and then the other. All the while his yellow eyes take me in, roving up and down the length of my torso. My body trembles, heart fluttering. I can barely hear my thoughts over its pounding. I try to swallow, but it gets caught in my throat. And when he lowers his head towards my neck, my muscles give a panic jerk. I clench my eyes shut, only for my attention to be stolen by a dull crack against the rabbit's armored shoulder. Hey, you big, hulking fuck toy! Got him. The rabbit twists his head back as his new onslaught. And I look past him to see Genzo with one hand on his hip and the other tossing a stone up and down in the air. Yeah, I'm talking to you, you big furry lummox. Yeah. He tosses the stone and it hits the rabbit right between the eyes. Got him. The rabbit lets out a perturbed squeak, then snarls. Overgrown Easter bunny. You got any brains up there and all that marshmallow fluff? Genzo points to his head in an empathetic derision. 'Cause last I checked, that whiny-ass twig you're about to ready to chow down on's nothing but skin and bones, bud. The rabbit loosens his grip on his shoulder and I slide down to my feet with an ankle-jolting thud. Can't even see a real meal when it's cocked down that fuzzy wuzzy little larynx of yours. Genzo gives his stomach a satisfying pat. What, you used to tiny royal dick, is that it? Should've known old fuckboy'd whip you up good. Of course he remembers, and now he has more ammo to throw at Orlom. What else could we ask for? Now I can see the rabbit's fur bristling. A low, breathy growl slithers out between his lips as he turns his whole body towards Genzo, ears flattening against his head. Oh, that one hit a nerve, I see. Little too close to home there, am I? Or are you just that starved for something good for once? The rabbit starts inching towards him. Don't worry, I got plenty of meat to go around, and I won't even make you wear a leash either. Holy shit. Oh wait, don't tell me you like that. He brings a hand to his mouth in feigned surprise. And then laughs, lips twisting into an impish grin. Guess rabbits really do make good pets, huh? The rabbit screamed. A shrill, phlegmy wail so loud I have to slap my hands to my ears. Disgusting. He lunges. Oh shit! What did you expect? Genzo's eyes go wide, then he twists on his heels and bolts. Run, Eggs, run! I watch it go flying towards the other end of the clearing. I begin my dash on instinct, feet stomping through the underbrush and steering me back towards the trees. Then I hear a tossle, a thud, a surprised grunt, and when I look back I see the rabbit perched on Genzo's form just beyond the line of trees. Fuck, guys. I want to do this. Okay, no. I have to remember, Iggy is not a fighter. He's a flighter. We gotta keep running. I have to keep running. I have to. Genzo can handle himself. If that rabbit gets both of us, we're through. So I have to... Did we do this wrong? I bite down on my tongue hard, but will my legs keep moving? Even as my heart twists with a painful jerk inside my chest. Don't stop, Iggy. Don't think, Iggy. Just move. Move. I go streaking through the trees and the brush, sprinting until I can't tell left from right, up from down, past tree after tree, deeper and deeper into the woods, surrounded by pink and shadow and shameful veil of guilt. I don't stop until my legs begin to give out beneath me, then finally start to slow. My lungs are burning, and I can't hold back the cough that leaps to my lips as I limp towards the nearest tree, fingers clutching the bark. I bend over, coughing and hacking. I don't feel like we made the right choice. Dot stands in front of my eyes as I struggle to pull oxygen through my constricted larynx and into my lungs. The copper taste of blood fills my mouth, and for a moment I just let myself lean against the tree, my forehead against my arm. Breathe. Just breathe. Breathe. Finally the world stops spinning around me and I feel my breath, my heart, begin to normalize. I wipe at the cold sweat slick across my forehead, right myself with a stagger, then look around for the first time. Where am I? Pinpricks of apprehension run up and down my arms as I take in my surroundings. I'm deep, deep in the woods now. So deep I can barely see the sky overhead. Where do I go? The pinpricks are turning into icy jabs now. I curl my arms around my chest, start forward, unsure, hesitant. I can't even tell the direction it came from anymore, let alone the direction I should go. Where should I go? Tears begin stinging the corner of my eyes. I'm all alone. I curl in on myself tighter. I should have stayed with Genzo. Well, you know, how could I have... You sucked every other time, and Genzo told us not to fucking... Image of Genzo being torn apart filled my mind. Nice. And I let out a strangled gasp of shame, of remorse. What the fuck is wrong with me? It's not you, it's me! How could I have been so selfish? I wasn't trying! You suck at fighting! So I'm thinking. And now Genzo is probably dead because of me. I slap my hands to my forehead in increasingly violent thwaps to the point that my head begins to ache. Until a sudden rustle of movement to my left makes me stop in my tracks. I twist around, but there's nothing there. I stand perfectly still, just watching the patch of brush. Another rustle, this time to my right. I spin back. Oh, is it the fucking tomatoes? But again, nothing. I clench my fingers into my hair. This is... Why is it so scary? Why is Arc 5 so scary? Alright, well, we're dead, guys. Tears is the air. It's impossibly loud. The bushes all around me are shaking now, shaking and writhing and quaking. More shrieks from every direction. I slap my hands, adding my own scream to the mix, then run. I make it about 5 steps. Is this just the screaming forest? Or is it just a bunch of screaming rabbits in here? I turn before I even have a chance to think about it. But they're... Oh god, why is this so bad? Ah! Emerging from the bushes. Why did no one tell me? Their snarls heavy on the air. I back, only for the one behind me to leap, knocking me to the ground with a heavy thud that knocks the wind out of me. I scramble, my arms shooting out instinctively in an attempt to wrest my... But it's too late, damn. Die immediately. Epic. We're so good at this. As I stare up at them, Stare up at the gathering swarm of hungry rabbits. All I can think about is Genzo. I'm sorry, Genzo. Me too. I close my eyes, suck in my breath. That's when they lunge. Well, it was fun. I feel all of it, but 10 agonizing seconds. I won't abandon you next time. Then I black out. Damn, we're so good at this, guys. We really are back. We're so back. Unfortunately, we're eating, yeah. But you'll make a better choice next time, won't you? Would you like to restart from... Yeah, I guess so. Fuck it. Why am I so bad at this? No matter what I do. Yeah. I'm so upset. Like, come on! There's no choice to make here. I know exactly what will happen if I run. I only have one option. Oh, it just says it for me. Okay, fair. That's right. I'm not abandoning him this time, yeah. I'm saving us both. Or I'm gonna go down trying. My feet move before I even realize what's happening. Then I'm running forward, dashing forward. A throaty... I didn't even know you could die at Arc 5, I'm gonna be real. I thought it was just gonna be smooth sailing. I was fucking wrong. Then I leap straight onto the things descended back. I hit with an oomph. Then scramble. I pull myself up towards his shoulders, fingers searching for anything I can use to grip, knees digging painfully into the smooth surface of its armor. I climb until I reach his head, then do the only thing I could possibly think to do in this situation. I grab his ears tight between my fingers, and yank. Then the rabbit gives an unsightly yelp. He tries to buck me off, tries to reach up and grab me, grab his ears, grab anything. But I just wrench his ears harder, all the way back towards my knees. More pain squeaks. I can feel his body twitch in pain, and his hands grapple helplessly at his throat and shoulders, unable to reach me. Beneath us, Genzo watches in wide-eyed wonder, still splayed out on his back. Then his gaze turns sharp. I see him dig in his pocket, pull out something shiny, then stab. Oh, he's got the screwdriver still. Keep holding him, Iggs. Oh gosh. We love couple murder. Hey, it's self-defense, actually. The rabbit's body spasms beneath me, nearly chucking me off, but I hold it as fast as I can, my whole weight going into my claw-like grip on his ears. Genzo keeps going, on and on. Blood's flying everywhere now, painting his hands, his face, the grass below. The entire front of the rabbit's armor is red with it, so bright and brilliant I can barely look at it. And the squelch is like tugging a boot from waterlogged mud. That's nice. Each jab spurting more and more goop across Genzo. Ew, gosh! Genzo gives an almost desperate sounding bellow, then slams it in deeper than before, buried all the way to the hilt and still further, his grip tight as steel on the handle, and his hands practically invisible amongst the red-soaked fur. Then he holds it as the rabbit chokes and gurgles and sputters, holds it as the rabbit's body twitches and shivers and spasms, even keeps holding it as the rabbit gives one final jerk before collapsing. Jeez, killing takes forever! Then there's a moment of silence, of complete and utter stillness. Now we gotta do that 10 more times with all these other fucking rabbits. We need a bazooka! Did nobody think to bring a gun into Wonderland? Just one gun, please? I blink and look down at him over the rabbit's shoulder. He returns the gaze in what looks like a half-dazed shock. Don't smile! Why is he so cute after he killed a rabbit? What the fuck? Before promptly grinning. That same stupid shit-eating cavalier grin he shot me so many times before. Not the sound. Never leave the workshop without it. I roll my eyes. I feel a wave of relief wash all over me all the same. We did it, yeah. I'm not sure how we did it, but we did it. A release of tension shudder runs up the base of my spine to the top of my skull, making the tips of my hair tremble. Can we get this 2-ton tin can off me, though, maybe? Damn near making me shit my own guts out on the grass. He shoves it against the weighty torso, keeping him pinned. Oh, right. My voice cracks unbecomingly as I roll off to the side. The two of us make a sorry sight as we push ourselves back to our feet. Hair mussed, clothes mussed, unslightly red stains streaked across skin and soaked into fabric. Genzo scratches beneath his cap and looks around, beleaguered breath slowly returning to normal. I follow his gaze. You think there's more of them? Where murder rabbits go, more murder rabbits follow, or something like that. I scratch anxiously at my arm. Not sure I'm ready to take on another one of those things again so soon, or ever, to be honest. Shall we keep moving then? This whole fucking forest is giving me a plus-size case of the willies. Yeah. It's shrill and hoarse and loud. So fucking loud. And when I shoot my gaze skyward, I see a whole passel of birds take off into the clouds. Shit! Genzo spins on his heels, face turning white. Another screech, and another, from all around us now, with such force it feels like the very air is quivering. My head screams with it. I bring my hands to my ears, eyes slamming shut. Make it stop! Make it stop! But it doesn't stop, and just when I realize I'm screaming with it, my arm is nearly jerked from its socket. My eyes pop open, and through the hazy film of moistness, I see Genzo pulling me. I gasp, stumble, then attempt to fall in step behind him, his fingers clamped tighter on my wrist. We're running again. Running as the very forest feels like it's opening up around us. The trees pass by in flashes of dark and pink. I try to keep my gaze focused straight ahead on the sight of Genzo's hat, bright and vivid even through my panic, but I can still sense them around us. Still see the flashes of gray fur through the surrounding darkness. They're all around us, whipping through the branches and brush to our either side. I suppress a shuddered gasp and clench my eyes shut, willing my focus to my aching legs. Just keep running. Just keep running. A gust of wind right next to me. I open my eyes just in time to see a rabbit come careening towards me. But Genzo must have seen it first because he gives my wrist an extra forceful tug, yanking me a few steps forward and out of the way. Oh god. Yeah, god fuck. It shoots me a look of sheer panic, then back to the front just in time to dart left of an incoming crop of bushes. We burst out of them, which sends us flying to the forest proper. We tumble forward, nearly dropping to our knees atop the gravel path where... the river! We've reached the river. I can see it in my head as though it were yesterday, calm and serene as it reflects the golden hue of the sky, cool as we waded into it to wash off the... Another screech from behind us cuts off my thoughts, and then we're moving again, barreling down the path, river flowing beside us. As we whip past tree after tree, that's when I spot it, up ahead, an all-too-familiar slab of pink. Genzo, the tongue! That's the goal! What? I squawked, voice rising with 2 octaves. Those rabbits won't touch it, remember? And I'm sure as shit rather take my chances with a fucking eyeball from hell than an entire army of Here Comes Easter Cottontail. As if to emphasize his point, another ear-grating shriek cuts through the air. I'm not sure I can argue with him at this point, or if I want to, much as my pores clench at the thought of hulking pink lump of meat. We reach the slimy appendage in question just as doughy and vile as I remember it, and it bisects the path like a giant slug. Genzo doesn't even pause. He launches me forward before I have a chance to protest, then begins climbing up after me. I follow suit, the two of us clambering up and onto the forest surface as it buckles and weeps beneath us. Then I look back, turning just to see 3, 4, 5 rabbits break clear of the trees and come speeding down the path after us. I watch, narrow my eyes. Genzo? What? He pushes himself to his feet with a wobble. I throw a shaky finger in the direction. They're not stopping. Indeed, they have slowed a bit since emerging from the forest. In fact, they almost seem to be going faster. I'm sure they'll... Genzo turns to look, blanches. He takes a step back. Then, in a voice so hushed I almost wouldn't recognize it for his, Iggy, run! We turn and book. I take two steps across the buoyant surface before falling flat on my face, Genzo following suit 2 steps later, but we somehow manage to keep crawling forward, pulling ourselves forward, doing everything possible to keep moving. My lungs feel like they're on fire, arms and legs screaming at me, barely restrained panic numbing my lips and tongue. I chance a confused glance at the cliff face, expecting to see our old friend, but it's gone. No, not gone. What? Destroyed? Huh? Who deflated the eyeball? Bit of gooey eye decorates the rock like a half-solidified egg, white splattered against the wall, and within the muddled mess I can make out what looks like a shredded bits of viscera and muscle. It's been ripped apart. Who is doing this? Just the rabbits? I choke back a gasp and I jerk my gaze forward. The tongue wobbles and ripples beneath us, and I realize with a start that the rabbits must have reached it. They're on top. They're coming. More shrieks, this time from the direction of the cliff. I throw a panicked glance upwards to see more rabbits' ears appear atop the cliff, their owners growling and snarling and climbing down the rocks like spiders. Where are they coming from? They're everywhere! I attempt a stumbling leap to get myself moving faster and only sends me face first into the swollen mass of pink. Come on, Eggs, I am not watching you get eaten alive by homicidal rabbits. Genzo has reached the end. I see him roll off and back onto the solid ground with a little huff. Tears of frustration prickling my eyes, I will strength back into my arms. Must go faster. But this isn't enough for Genzo. He takes one look at me, one look at the rabbits, then promptly grabs my arms and yanks me the rest of the way off the surface of the tongue. We go flying. And though I attempt to stick my hands out, it doesn't help. I land hard on my chin, in the dirt, bouncing and rolling a few feet away with subsequent cracks to my skull. Genzo is back on me in a flash, tugging my collar in an attempt to get me up and moving. Come on. I can hear the panic frustration in his voice. I'm trying, I cough while to my feet. A throbbing pain radiates out from my jaw to vibrate against my brain, and when I bring my hand to my chin, my fingers come away speckled with blood. The boat! We gotta get to the fucking boat! The boat! My head is spinning now, vision hazy as I lumber after Genzo's form. I see him gesture wildly ahead. That's when I see it. Ah, yes, of course. The boat. The boat. All at once, an overwhelming sense of dread washes over my entire body. Memories of something horrible I can't quite explain, but definitely there and definitely tangible and definitely screaming loudly, quite loudly, from the back of my brain. But Genzo, if we don't get on the fucking boat, we are going to die. And the sheer intensity of his voice is enough to stop me short. Enough to snap the cloud from my head. And I say nothing more, failing in hurried steps behind him as we go speeding towards the dock. I can still hear the snarls behind us. They're still coming, and gaining on us most likely, but I don't dare look. I don't allow myself to look anywhere besides Genzo's back. Even as we alight the wooden stairs of the pier, even as I spy remnants of the once sprightly flower in my peripheral— oh no! The flower's not here! Its white petals lying in shredded disarray on the ground. No! No, okay, worse so far. Not the flower fucking dying. Get to the boat, get to the boat, get to the boat! The boards of the dock shudder beneath my feet. They're here. Genzo. Jump, Iggs, jump! I see Genzo go flying. He lands in the back of the boat with a rough tumble. The force of it sends the boat drifting away from the dock, and I come to a skidding halt at the end of the pier, just watching as the gap between the boat and the planks grow larger and larger. Genzo lurches to his feet, then looks up in horror. What the fuck are you doing? He clutches his fingers into his cap. It's too far! Ignatius Maxwell, you jump on the boat right fucking now, okay? I throw a glance behind me. 8, 9, 10 rabbits, barreling towards the dock, screaming down the pier. The air freezes my lungs, and for a moment I forget how to breathe, how to think. They'll be on me in a second. I turn back. Jump, hello? Iggy, this is not a choice. Would you please fucking jump? Genzo has wow, that's cool. He doesn't even allow us to choose. His face a deathly shade of white. He's right. Fuck, he's right. I've got to do it. I've got to do it or I'm dead. I clench my eyes shut. Take a deep breath. Then, jump. It seems to last forever. Almost as though I'm suspended in the air. Then all of a sudden, time speeds up and I'm flying, flying, flying. I miss the boat by a good foot, plunging instead straight into the water. Fuck. I hadn't even prepared for this, and I gasp in surprise. Water invades my mouth, my throat, my nose. I sputter, throw my arms out, battle desperately with the sloshing froth. The boat. Where's the boat? I grapple for the white wall, my fingers slick against the surface. Then a set of hands finds my shirt. Genzo's fingers clench into fabric as he tugs me up and out of the water. I emerge like a fish on a hook, still choking and clawing at the air, clawing at him. But he somehow succeeds, despite my panic flapping to drag me over the side and into the boat proper. We go down with a wet slap on the deck. It takes me a moment to stop flailing. Genzo just tugs me in close, his arms around my midsection and his heart beating a mile a minute through his jacket. I start to calm. Jesus Christ! Why is everything so bad? Slower, slower. My muscles relax, body going slack in his arms. And then I just sit there and breathe. God fucking... I let the air whistle between my teeth with each breath. My arms and legs just feel like jelly, wet sloppy noodles lying inert on the floorboards. Genzo glances up and at the receding dock. It's lined with rabbits now, all of them just standing there hissing and snarling, the occasional streak still biting the air. But we're safe, floating, sailing away, away, away. A sigh from behind me. Genzo looks skyward with an exasperated groan. If you could stop giving me a heart attack every 5 seconds, that'd be great, thanks. I try to think of something witty to say in response. Hell, I try to think of anything to say in response, but my head's still too much of a jumble to form proper speech, so instead I just let out a bleh and stick out my tongue. Attractive, Genzo replies, but I can hear the smile in his voice. I'm so like, how are Orlom and Gidget even alive? They must be on fucking easy mode. Swear to God. Wow. Okay. Once we've gathered our wits somewhat, we clean ourselves up. It's chilly on the boat, though, particularly in my wet clothes, and I sit shivering atop one of the benches as we drift along until Genzo notices and gives him his jacket. Though perhaps gives isn't the right word, even the way he forces it on me, and despite my protest. I hear him grumble something about not letting me fucking freeze to death, and he yanks his hat down around my curls. Oh, that's so cute, I want to see! It's nice, though, warm, and the shivers stop almost immediately as I curl up inside the padded fabric. I feel like a marshmallow. I'm so glad I get to see! It's so cute! Oh my gosh, Icky, looking at Genzo's clothes for the rest of the game, please. It's too damn cute. Genzo takes the bench. Look at him, so handsome. We're having a good time. We might have died. Having a good time. Genzo takes the bench across the aisle. I watch him half interested as he lights up a cigarette, brings it to his lips. The sight sparkles in memory in the back of my... I can't get over how cute Iggy looks. I can't. Sitting here just like this, watching the smoke marble in the air, backdrop by a sea of pink trees. How many times have we done this now? Too many times to count. I blink just a bit too hard and turn away, instead burying my face into the collar of Genzo's jacket. It smells like him. You think the others are here? Like, doing their normal thing? Genzo finally asks. His tone is light and there's something careful about the words. I don't know. I stared out at my hand, opening and closing my fingers in curious wonderment. I mean, it's weird, right? If they remember too, then why would they come back, you know? After everything that's happened. We came back. Genzo blinks at this. Cringes. Yeah, I suppose. He takes a long, slow draw of a cigarette, his nostrils flaring. Oh. I turn my gaze towards the sky, waiting a few moments before continuing. I think something's wrong. I think they might be in trouble. Why else would things be so weird here? You say as if weird isn't par for the course in this fucking place. True, I furrow my brows, but I just mean more than usual. Genzo murmurs in non-committal acknowledgement. I don't know what he means by it, but I don't ask. I instead drop my gaze to my shoes. Now that we're out of the immediate danger, the looming thoughts of dread are beginning to reform themselves in the corners of my mind. What are they doing? Are they okay? Are they trying to figure things out just like us? Though I'm not sure how those fuckers could get any worse than they already fucking are. I hear Genzo mumble through his cigarette. I glance up. Genzo shooting daggers at the floorboards, brows curled in indignant rumination. His cigarette is bouncing again, up and down and up and down. The sight makes me wince, a nagging feeling of guilt tickling the base of my spine. I did try. Genzo's head pops up. I feel his eyes on me. To help everyone. I pause. To be what they needed. I sink even lower into the collar of Genzo's jacket. To make them happy. What the fuck? The abrupt of the remark catches me off guard. I jerk my gaze upwards to see Genzo just staring at me. What did I say? Did I say something wrong? I clasp and unclasp my hands between my thighs. What the fuck what? I finally ask. Since when is that your responsibility? Genzo flicks his finished cigarette to the ground and stomps it out with his toe. Well, my tongue feels all of a sudden extremely dry. I hadn't really ever thought about it before. They need me. Oh yeah? And what do they need? And why do they need you? I pull at my collar. Because it's my fault? What's your fault? Uncomfortable panic is rising up in my chest. I wave my hands in increasingly violent flourishes, but nothing comes out of my mouth. I try and I try, eyes clenching and unclenching. Then finally, everything! It pops out with a little hiccup, trembling on my lips. And with it, I feel the heat form on my face, my neck, behind my eyes. My throat is already constricting. The tears are coming because I can't even have a normal conversation like a normal human being. Everything is my fault. My vision goes blurry as the water fills my eyes. I want to make everyone happy, but I couldn't. Instead, I just ruined their lives, ruined your life. I can't do anything right. Can't be there for people. Can't say the right thing. Can't be what people need me to be. I try and I try, but all I ever do is make things worse. I bring my hand to my temples, fingers digging into the fabric of Genzo's hat into my scalp, so hard my head begins to pound. Genzo just stares at me, a look I've never seen before on his face. I don't know what's wrong with me. I curl my arms around my chest with a shiver. Genzo cocks his head to the side, blinks, then reaches forward and yanks the side of my hat down, practically to my chin. Brain a little waterlogged there because you're not making any fucking sense. The hell are you going on about, ruining people's lives? How have you ruined anyone's life, huh? It's true! I try to wrestle his hands away. Everyone would be better off without me. This must spark something in Genzo. Because without missing a beat, he brings... Oh! I mean, kind of valid, but... He brings the palm of his hand straight across my jaw. I sit there in silence for a moment, stunned. Honestly, same. And when Genzo speaks next, his voice is strained, trembling. Don't you fucking say that. Do you hear me? His index finger comes out, quivering just in front of my nose. I grow small, so small, practically curling in on myself. Shame dapples my cheeks. Are you even fucking listening to yourself, Iggs? Why would you say something like that? I'm shaking now. When I look up next, the tears are running freely down my cheeks. The accident, it was my fault. If you hadn't... Genzo's face goes blank, his jaw tight. And then, I abandoned you. I left you all alone, your best friend. I left out a choked hiccup. I mean, I'm glad we're having this discussion. I was just so scared and confused. I didn't know what to do. I see Genzo's lip twitch, tremble. He brings a hand to his hair, clenching his fingers in his curls, looks away up at the sky, his eyes strained and his bottom lip clamped between his teeth. They need to talk it out. Look, we might have died, guys. Now is now the time. Iggs. His voice is low and hoarse and crackles between his breath. Iggs, it's okay. I was scared too. I was scared most of high school, to be honest. Terrified, more like. A tiny smirk. Why else do you think I was so fucking insufferable? He drops to squat in front of me, knuckles curling atop my knees. But that's not your fault. None of what happened is your fault. It's no one's fault. Just a shitty fucking thing that happened. When I don't look up to meet his gaze, he pops my chin up with the side of his index finger. I look everywhere but his eyes. He, however, just cracks again. Neither one of us had any idea what the fuck was going on with ourselves. What do you expect? His fucking smile is too contagious, and I find the corners of my mouth tugging upward in spite of itself. Yeah, I guess. Iggs. Genzo lets out another sigh. We all make mistakes, yeah? Some admittedly bigger than others, but certainly nothing life-ruining, yeah? And it's sure as fuck not your responsibility to fix anyone's life. Not that you even could. They've all got to work their shit out for themselves. He points his finger at my chest, giving it a little tap. You're giving yourself a bit too much credit, maybe, eh? Ruining people's lives? You haven't ruined anyone's life any more than I ruined my pop's, despite how long it took me to accept that. Oh. Dib brings his hands to the side of my head, forcing me to look straight into his eyes. And you sure as fuck haven't ruined my life, you hear me? So, just get that fucking thought out of your head. I hold his gaze for about 5 seconds before I have to turn away. It burns too much. Fortunately, Genzo doesn't force it any longer. He rocks back on his heels with a little wobble, arms balanced on his knees. Damn, things got all intense there for a sec, eh? Didn't they? Sorry about that. I shake my head softly. No, it's okay. He squeezes his eyes shut, opens them. You mean a lot. To a lot of people. A pause. I see him bite down on his lip. Wince. Then, you mean a lot to me. The warmth returns to my cheeks. Sorry. But I was actually like... but this time it's not shame, not discomfort, not emotional panic. I clasp my hands together, staring down at my fingers. I guess you, kinda know that already now, though, after everything. I mean, I didn't know how to respond, so I don't say anything. And Genzo continues. But that doesn't mean you owe me anything. A pause. You don't know me anything, Iggs, so just promise me that no matter what happens, you make your own decision, yeah? For yourself and not for anyone else. My own decision. What do you want, Iggy? I scratch beneath my cap, squint against my puffy, teared eyes. I'm sorry. What do you wish for more than anything else in the whole world? And let my gaze turn hazy as I stare off in the far trees, playing idly with my hands in my lap. I feel the boat rise and fall with the current, on, just going with the flow. Genzo snaps his fingers in front of my face and I give a start. Or to Iggy, you still with me, bud? Yeah, sorry. I must have been staring off longer than I'd realized. Genzo pushes himself back up on his feet with a grunt. Anyway, that's enough awkward talk for today, yeah? I laugh. Then he mashes his cap into my curls with a few static-inducing twists. Just remember, we're all in this together. The 5 of us started this mess. The 5 of us are gonna fix this mess. Something, losers stick together and all that. Yeah. I wipe at my tear-strewn cheek with my palm. I'm not sure how much I can believe his words, or how much I can allow myself to believe, but I do feel somehow lighter, like one of my giant padlocks holding me down had just come undone and dropped to the floor. Now we just gotta talk to everybody else and we'll be good. I watch Genzo stretch his arms over his head, then wander away, towards the front of the boat. He pauses to check out the helm, hand shifting it gently left and right, then left again. He looks so short next to the big wheel that I almost laugh. What do I want? I let my gaze soften, just staring at him. Maybe. I blink, look away, sigh, then simply let myself settle back into the warm folds of his jacket, just breathing it in. My own cocoon. What the fuck? His words snap me back to attention, and when I return my gaze to him, I see him staring out across the water in front of the boat. What is it? Is something wrong with the water, or are my fucking eyes on the fritz again? Concerned, I trundle over, taking in our position with a quick glance at our surroundings. We're further along than I expected we'd be, and approached an all too familiar curve, too. I found myself momentarily distracted by the lack of any signage on the shore, then flicked my gaze back to the water. Where? You don't see how fucking dark it looks up there? I squint, gazing out across the choppy surface. I don't see anything at first. Then, oh. Oh, how about Mary Mother in Heaven? Great galloping sassafras? Whatever that means. Hell, I'll even fuck me with a wooden spoon. Genzo waves his arms in half-panic exasperation. The water is indeed darker. Not just darker, black. Like oil spreading out across its surface. I lean over the railing to get a better look as we approach. It's definitely never happened before, right? Tell me that's never fucking happened before. Pretty sure not. We watch as the boat begins to cut its way through the black stain. Nothing happens at first. It seems as much water as the surrounding river. Then I notice the boat slowing ever so slightly, as though requiring more effort to continue its forward momentum. It's getting darker now, darker and thicker, slapping against the sides of the boat as we push our way through. And the smell, I can't quite place it, like copper or rust, but with a slightly burning after whiff. It gets more and more overpowering the further we sail, to the point that I have to cover my nose. I'm getting a little fucking concerned here. Genzo leans down, his index finger stretched towards the goopy liquid. No, don't! The words come out of my mouth as if on instinct, and I lurch forward to slap his hand away. What the fuck? But he doesn't finish the expletive, because now we're both staring down at the bottom of the boat. The point of contact between the wood and the water. It's sizzling. Shit! Genzo's face goes gray, and I back up from the edge in 1, 2, 3 giant steps, my hands to my mouth. The burning smell. It's stronger now, much stronger. Little wisps of smoke drift up and over the railing. What is this stuff? Acid? Genzo rubs at his forehead harder and harder. The boat gives a shuddered jerk that nearly sends both of us to the deck, and I throw an anxious glance back at the water wheel currently chugging behind us. Thick, heavy globs of black muck are dripping off its slats, and foamy chunks of wood are already starting to crumble and fall, almost like cookie bits left in milk for too long. The entire wheel is slowly becoming engulfed in its increasingly turbulent coils of white steam. How are we gonna get out of this one, Scoob? Genzo? My voice cracks. The boat continues to get slower and slower, and the steam is everywhere now, curling and twisting on every side of the boat, some of it even drifting up through the gaps in the wood between our feet. Another shudder. A huge chunk of the wheel collapses in on itself, falling up by a groan as the entire left half begins tilting inward. Then the boat comes to a complete and undeniable stop. I feel tendrils of panic begins creeping up beneath my collar. We stopped! Hey, we got this. We'll figure something out, yeah? Genzo starts towards the other side of the boat. I see him eyeing our proximity to the shore, but there's no way. We're too far. Walking through that much stuff would be a death wish. Genzo starts pounding his fist against the railing in thought, mumbling something beneath his breath. Another shudder, but this one feels different. Less of a slowly crumbling to death shudder and more of a something just hit the boat shudder. I twist on my heels, glancing around, gaze flickering from one side of the boat to the next. In the midst of this perusal, I notice where we are. The forest of our left has given way to a wide expanse of cleared land, revealing a strange yellow hillock covered in what appears to be slowly smoking trash. My gut twists in discomfort, a slowly squirming spiral of dread working its way up my spine. The boat creaks, groans. I let my gaze drop to the floorboards, head cocking to the side as I watch the steam sneak its way through the gaps. That's when a violent crack rips through the bottom of the boat, and a massive black tent— oh god, it's here! Bursts through the wood. I don't even have a chance to step back. It shoots upward less than a centimeter from the tip of my nose, sending my bangs a-whirl. My vision is filled with it, all writhing, fleshy mass of undulating sinews and slimy membranes. Eggs! Genzo is to me in an instant, grabbing the arm of my jacket and yanking me backward. We stand there staring at the tentacle. It stares back, coils in seeming befuddlement, then bolts forward. Genzo's football tackles me to the ground and out of the way just as the tip of the tentacle whips through the air where we once stood. This fucking thing. Genzo's brows are furrowed so low I can barely see his eyes. Can we not get a single fucking break? Not this route. Nope. Not this arc. He leaps back to his feet and charges at it again. It's hard to explain exactly what occurs next. Genzo is running from it. The next, he's leaping straight on top of it, pinning it to the ground and wrestling it with the flailing head. Well, that's great, but what about all the other ones? He twists it between his hands as though strangling a snake, which seems to stop it for a moment. Then he jumps to his feet and brings a shoe down hard on the limp appendage. One stomp. Two. His foot descends in a boat-rattling heaves that send the tentacle writhing and elicit one gooey squelch after another. After 5 or 6 resounding thumps, the tentacle stops moving, lying inert in a growing puddle of mysterious wetness. I lower my hand, gazing somewhat awestruck upon Genzo's huffing form. You wrestled a giant tentacle for me? Yeah? Genzo glances up, looks away. I see a touch of pink grace his cheek. These two, I don't know about wrestle, more like fought for dear life, but Not interrupting the moment. Without missing a beat, another heaving creak rocks the boat, and with a rapid-fire series of snaps, How are we gonna get out of this one? To the floor beneath. You've gotta be fucking kidding me. I back up, heart pounding, brain screaming. Another crack, this time just from my right. Yeah. I leap backwards right before the third tentacle nearly impales me right up on the middle, falling straight on my ass to the deck. I roll away towards the edge of the boat, only to see tentacles crawling up the side and curling around the railing. I stagger back to my feet, heart like a steam engine chugging away in my chest. They're everywhere. I toss a glance at Genzo, who's currently going toe-to-toe with one bisecting the length of the ship. He's got one hand wrapped around its tip as the other wrenches the head of his screwdriver into his slick skin. I start backing up towards the half-collapsed water wheel at the end of the boat. I should help. I should do something. I squeeze my eyes shut, then back open. But what can I do? I can't do anything. Everyone always has to protect me. I feel the boat shudder beneath me, again and again. A long, low creak reverberates through my legs, my spine. We're not getting out of here, are we? Even if we somehow manage to get through this, the next obstacle will surely claim us. This place is an unending nightmare, yet we keep throwing ourselves back in like gluttons for punishment. A guttural sense of dread is working its way up from my bowels, extending through my chest, up into my neck, my chin, my eyes. The shuddering is all around me now, the boat creaking and groaning like the Titanic about to go down. We're just going to keep dying and dying and dying, dying until we can't take it anymore, dying until it drives us mad. I watch Genzo tackle the next nearest tentacle as another slithers over the railing to grab its ankle. What's the point? What's the point of any of this? No. No, stop it. I bring my hands to my head, palms press against my ears. You're not doing this again. I'm not going to let you do this again. I squeeze harder and harder, so hard I feel like my brain is going to pop out. Get out of my head. Get out of my head. Get out of my head. At the moment, the water wheel behind me explodes. Crackling, tearing the whole fucking back of the boat, erupting into bits of chipped, scrapped wood that shoots upward like a fountain of debris. Then the tentacles follow. 8, 9, 10, so many of them like one giant mass emerging from the watery depths. And as they rise, the boat tips backward, tilting with a horrific groan and sending Genzo and I slipping and sliding on the inclined surface. I lose my balance and go flying into the half-collapsed overhang of the boat as Genzo latches onto one of the benches. Then I can only stare at it, stare up at the wriggling worm-like throng as spreading out across my vision. That's when it comes for me. Two of the tentacles whip forward, encircling my waist and neck and lifting me up towards the sky. What we doing in this situation? Iggy? I can't even turn to look at Genzo. My whole body... he still looks cute in the clothes. Wrenched at increasingly unnatural angles as more and more of the black snakes latch on. Hey, squid gang! Let's go! It's squid time! Hold up. We interrupt this for more squid. There we go. I try to tug against them, try to pull my chin out and free of their muscle-slick skin. But they just coil tighter, so tight I can barely breathe, barely think. I feel myself being tipped forward, backwards, then to the side, almost as though being studied, and I groan in discomfort as I feel the sticky wetness drip and heaving globules down my skin. OMG hentai, not hentai! that it would be more terrifying. I close my eyes, open them, then glance towards the far shore, the shore with the yellow hillock. That's when I see it, standing there, completely innocuous, just staring up at me. No. I try to turn my eyes away, but I can't. No. Panic clenches around my heart as my body goes cold, but I still can't look away. My eyes are glued to it. It has me. It cocks its head to the side, then changes. I don't know how to explain it. Only that its body seems to open up all at once. 100,000 layers, 100,000 emptiness of 100,000 universes, and all that enters my head, enters my mind, enter my synopsis. What's going on? And then everything goes dark. Did we get the bad end again? I didn't do anything. I don't think. Not that I remember. Where are we going? It's white. All around me it's white. Where am I? What am I? I can't see myself. Can't feel myself. Am I floating? I can't even tell. Moving any body provides no sensory response. It's bright though. So fucking bright. And I want to close my eyes to block it out, but I can't. Can't turn it off. Can't look away. It's all around me. Part of me. I am nothing. I pause for a moment, pause in my thoughts, but I can't tell if it's a moment or 500 moments. From one empty thought to the next, I don't want to be here. I'm so alone. Nothing but me is endless world of white. When will it end? It can't end. I'm not even here. I'm just a formless gathering of nerves. The feelings when you hit your elbow. Tingly. I just want to go home. I just want to exist again. For someone to look at me, smile at me, to tell me I'm okay. White, so much white. That's when I feel it. A touch? I can feel it on my non-existent arm. Is it real? If not real, how could it be real? But when I focus on it, I feel grounded. Maybe I am real. I reach out. Yes, there's my hand. I can see it. I swear I can see it. I reach out, searching, groping, wanting that touch, needing that touch. Don't leave me. Don't leave me here all alone. I just want to belong. Ah, I feel them in mine. They're curling around my hand now. A non-existent smile forms on my non-existent face. What is going on? I could cry from it, cry from that touch. Take me back, take me back, take me back, yes. Oh, hello. This is a sight for sore eyes. I gasp as my eyes snap open. Genzo looking down at me, over me. Where am I? Lying somewhere? Lying where? What happened? What's going on? I don't know. My face must look like a ghost, eyes wide and blinking, lips trembling as I take in breaths I feel as though I haven't taken in hours. But above me, Genzo's face is soft and relieved and filled with something I can't quite place. A pained tiredness. Damn, didn't think that'd actually work, he mutters so softly I almost don't hear him. Maybe I'm good for something after all, I see him smile. That last part was very creepy, but we're in love, so it's okay. The faintest, tiniest little smile. This is the only thing that's going to get us through. Then his eyes flutter closed, and he collapses. Oh no. He lands half on my shoulder and half on the ground, a limp sack of potatoes pinning my right side against the dirt. Then he just lies there, motionless. It takes me a second to find my thoughts. My mind races to piece together the current situation, but there's nothing to explain it, nothing to connect the dots. I throw a shaky glance at Genzo, but he appears to be out cold. Shit. I push myself up with a wince. My body strangely stiff, and Genzo rolls off to the side. Genzo? Now I'm the one over him. I give his shoulder a shake, gently slap his cheek. Genzo. But he's unresponsive, features lax. Sweaty bangs clinging to his forehead. Anxiety bubbles up in my belly, just pop into my lungs. He's not dead, is he? He can't be dead. I lean forward, almost too scared as what I'll discover. Renzo infected the brain. No! Get out of there! I'll discover it. Only near his lips. No, he's breathing. Thank fucking God. But then what? When I sit back up, I see it. His legs. His pants are shredded and torn, and the skin visible through the thread is pink and blotchy. Oh, did he walk across the acid? No. I bring a hand to my mouth to stifle the gasp, then finally turn my gaze to our surroundings, hoping for an answer, desperate for an answer. We're surrounded by trees, a small clearing of sorts, but when I follow the tarry streaks of black that lead from Genzo's shoes like some kind of breadcrumb trail in the dirt, my eyes hit water. The river. It's not far away, just through the sparse patch of trees to our left. Then, I peer back down at Genzo's legs, at the bit of white singed fabric tinted with black. Tears start burning my eyes before I can stop them. Stupid. I drop my fist on Genzo's chest. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Once, twice, again and again, pounding his stupid fucking chest as the tears run rivulets down my cheeks. Why do you always have to be so stupid? I pound until the energy fades and my arms and shoulders sag and my body slumps inward. I'm silent then, just sitting there as I wait for the tears to stop. What's happened? I can't remember a thing, not even vague images, just white, complete and utter white. I let out a shuddered breath, then blink back the watery veil. I have to stay calm, I have to stay focused. Genzo needs someone to take care of him, needs me to take care of him. Oh, this is kind of remember, like at the end of Arc 1 when we had to go save him. Maybe we'll actually be successful this time. Wiping his hair back and out of his face. Then shrug his jacket off and drape it across his front like a blanket. That'll help? I wince. Then bring my hands to my newly exposed arms. I'm not sure if it's just the sudden loss of warmth or if it's actually that cold, but I feel myself shiver slightly. It's getting chilly and dark too. I glance up through the leafy veil above our heads. The sky is starting to dim. It'll be dark soon. Damn. The thought of being all alone in the cold, dark woods is definitely not appealing, and not good for Genzo either. He could be sick or worse. I pound the heel of my hand against my forehead, thinking. Ah. A moment of enlightenment striking me. I dig my hand in the pocket of Genzo's coat, fingers curling around his lighter. Yes, I can do this. I can solve something. I can make things right for once. I push myself to my feet with a little wobble, tuck the lighter into my back pocket, then get to work. I've got a fire to make. Hey, that's pretty good fire, Biggs. Good job. 15 minutes later, and I've got a good-sized pile of twigs and leaves sheltered beneath an assemblage of sticks. From there, it doesn't take too long to get the fire going. It starts out small, and I try to strategically place some of the twigs and sticks to get more and more pieces smoking. But soon I've got somewhat impressive flame going, one even my dad would have been proud of, or something. Once I've dragged Genzo as close as it feels safe, I sit down myself, tugging my knees up towards my chest with a sigh. My body feels exhausted. Now that I don't have any more pressing tasks to attend to, I try again to remember what happened, digging into the dark recesses of my mind. But there's still nothing, not a single image, flash, sound, smell, vague hint of what happened after I'd blacked out. Not blacked out, whited out. Is that even a thing? I rub at my eyes, so hard, dizzy. Colored dots dance across my vision. They simply stare into the fire. It flickers and shimmies across the black expanse of the surrounding woods, an orange dancer in the dark. I like that line. The heat is welcome. A heavy chill has settled down on the top of the trees with the loss of sun, but the fire's warm glow nestles against my skin like a grandma's old quilt. I'm instantly taken back to my parents' living room. Winter, snow, the fireplace. Lying curled up in front of it and just watching the flames for hours. The heat would snip and snap at my cheeks. I'd be sitting too close, but I wouldn't care. I'd stay until my cheeks turned as rosy as the baubles on the nearby tree. I rest my chin on my knees, the denim rough against my skin. I suddenly wish I could turn back time, not to start the loop, but to before, long before things had gotten so complicated. I pause and furrow my brows. Complicated. No, things had always been complicated. We just hadn't known it at the time, had we? We hadn't known a lot of things. Genzo gives a little moan next to me, and I snap out of my thoughts. Throw him a worried glance. His face looks strained, features gray and taut. When I crawl over to feel his forehead, my fingers grow warm at the touch. Fuck. I lean back into a squat, chin buried between my knees, and just stare at him. What am I supposed to do? I feel so utterly useless. Is he warm enough? I can see him shivering. He needs to stay warm, goddammit. I bump my forehead against my kneecap again and again. Why can't you just wake up and tell me what to do? You always know what to do. Of course we're using our body heat. Come on, I knew that's where that was going. I'm on to you, Carrot. I am on to you. I close my eyes, pressing my lips together, then raise... Look, it's for science. It's to keep them warm. Nothing else. It really is. It's just like... Then raise my head with a look of determination. I'm not letting you fucking die. Slingers? Flingers? Please! Okay, fingers shaky with something that's not quite fear and not quite not. I crawl over to his other side, then gently, ever so gently, slide beneath his jacket to join him. Oh. It's warm next to him, and I bring my arm across his chest, face burrowed into his shoulder. Don't die. You can't die. I curl inward, trying my best to cover as much of him as I can, almost like some kind of human blanket. I can feel his neck cold and clammy against my forehead. I need you. The sudden thought, the sudden realization tugs at something deep down in the recesses of my brain, and I feel my eyes well up. I've always needed you. I press my face into the fabric of his shirt, breathing it in. Don't leave me all alone. Then close my eyes with a shudder. He looks so cute and sweet. His chest moves up and down beneath my arm, a soft undulating rhythm. It's peaceful, soothing. My own cocoon of warmth, just me and him, curled up beneath a jacket in the middle of the dark woods. I feel my lingering anxiety, the one constantly squirming and twisting just beneath my consciousness, finally begin to recede. My breaths are slowing now. Warm, heavy puffs of air that sink into the fabric of Genzo's shirt. It doesn't take long after that for the numbness of sleep to claim me. Ooh. I'm woken to the feeling of something on my nose. An itchy, scratchy tingle dancing atop the skin. I scrunch up my face, furrow my brows, and when that doesn't relieve the vexing sensation, I pop a hand up to dash it away, a bug of some sort, that's not enough to rouse me from stiff, back stupor. I blink open my eyes, allowing the light to filter in. The collar of Genzo's coat is pressed up against my cheek. Below me, the tickle of wet grass dashes against my forearms. I groan and push myself up to a seat. Everything is blurry haze, nebulous blobs of dark on light, and no matter how I rub at my eyes, I can't bring them into focus. Need these? I give him a little jump as the dark blob a short distance in front of me leans forward, then tentatively reaches out, feels the boxy frames of my glasses in my hand. I lob them back across my nose. Through the sharpening soup, Genzo's face emerges, a soft smile playing on his lips. Didn't want you rolling over on him in your sleep. That's a real one. My husband has to do that every day because I always I'll take off my glasses and put them on the bed, and I only take up half the bed, and then sometimes when he comes in to join me, he's just has to move my glasses. Oh, thanks. At least I could do what with you becoming my personal space heater and all. I blink. I glance down at the coat still draping my legs, remember exactly what had happened the night before, then shoot my head back up, cheeks hot. I run a hand through my curls again and again. I didn't want you to get cold. I cringed, glanced back up. You look so sick. I thought you were gonna die. Hey, good thing I'm not too damn stubborn to throw in a towel just yet. Am I right or am I right? I throw him a reluctant grin, then rise to my feet with the crick of my back. This elicits a grimace, and I attempt to stretch out my neck as I wander towards him. He's sitting near the fire, now low and crackly. It looks like he's put a few new sticks in it. Your legs, though, are you okay? I pop a squat next to him. Am I right or am I right? Gaze flickering towards the shredded fabric of his pants. Not at all. It hurts like fuck. He laughs and pokes at one of the blackened sticks smoldering in the flames. Probably gonna have irreparable damage and lose feeling in most of my legs, especially if I don't get him looked at soon, which I won't, since we're, stuck here and all. I wince. Kenzo. But hey, when am I ever let debilitating bodily harm hold me back? I mean, that's true, but the legs are kind of important. I don't respond, instead leaning in closer to get a better look. His legs look awful, though the fresh pink of the burns is now hardened onto chalky red scabs. Should we put something on them? I scratch at my head. I would love to hear what you think we should put on them. I chew on my bottom lip. He has a point. Can you even walk, though? I already walked once this morning. Nothing like a peaceful morning stroll to make you forget you almost died. And have died. Hundreds of times over. Genzo. Hey, at least I still have legs at this time. Am I right or am I right? Genzo, no! Genzo, no! You can't joke about that! The trauma joking is insane. Genzo. Alright. Just trying to lighten the mood. I roll my eyes and push myself back to my feet. Look around. We're a pretty good ways up to the river already. Stop! No, for real. Probably not far from done. Not when we ate it. Yeah. Oh my god, he remembers that. How embarrassing. Oh gosh, that must be really weird. It's fine, let's not think of... Wait, why is my music playing? Huh? Can anybody else hear that? Did I just trigger my music by accident? Am I losing my mind? Oh, it was a YouTube video. Okay, it's fine, don't worry about it. The fact that he remembers us eating him and he still sticks around, what a man! Yeah, he's done, okay, at least Genzo has that. He remembers a lot of things, but he didn't do anything bad to us ever. Except maybe punched us when we were rude as fuck to him. He's been good to us no matter what. That's crazy. Yes, Gidget, nothing wrong about this plan at all. Are you gonna be this cynical the whole way? Sorry, it must be the excruciating pain shooting up and down my calves. My face softens. He really doesn't look great. But we don't have much choice. We don't have any choice. We gotta keep pushing forward. Come on. I extend my hand. And though it's probably the last thing Genzo wants to do right now, he takes it with a sigh. I tug him to his feet. Into the fuckery we go. Yeah. It's been tough this time, huh? There's no pulling punches here. 15 minutes later sees us wandering back through the sea of pink using the river to our left as we navigate the leaf-strewn underpath. Genzo is able to keep up better than I thought he would. Only the occasional grunt, wince, hissed breath as he follows along beside me to remind me of his predicament. I can't tell if it's really gotten any better or if he's just hiding it from me. Either way, he says nothing, and we walk mostly in silence, around trunk and bush, sidestepping fallen branches and gnarled roots. I spy the dock at some point, or what's left of it anyway. Crumbled, chewed planks that lead into the water before disappearing beneath the inky shoals. The whole river has gone black by this point, dark and thick. No waves skitter atop its surface, and a gray foam decorates the line where it meets the land. Is this whole place, crumbling in on itself, and it's if we don't escape, it's just gonna, become an apocalypse? I stare at it a moment, quiet. A single bubble rises to the surface with a gurgled plop. Guess someone didn't invest enough in water treatment efforts. I don't respond, instead bringing a foot up to scratch at my calf. Then we carry on. From here, the path is much clearer, more vivid, a path we've walked many times before, through the veil of pink trees, watching the leaves quiver in trembling staccato with the breeze. Did Gidget walk the same path? Did Orlon? I think about them now. What are they doing? They remember too, don't they? They have to. Imagine if they didn't. Did they come to try to fix things the same as us? For answers? For something else? Surely things won't be the same as they were before. Surely! I swallow a bit too hard. A glint of something flashes through my mind. Scissors. Snipping and snapping as they cut through my hair. Cut through me. But there had been good moments too. Gidget's hand in mine. The warmth of her lips. Which Gidget waits us now. Maybe both. All of a sudden, my footsteps change in timber. I glance down to see the dirt path has given way to the cobblestones. Right, of course. Oh joy, we're almost there. I ignore him, tossing a glance forward and stab my eyes in search of something. But there's something with the sea of trees. That's interesting. What, the missing larger-than-life pinup? I noticed it too. We keep walking, but the path continues, empty and signless. That's a good sign, right? Or a sign that we're in for a lot worse. Who can say at this point, really? Definitely not me. I hum beneath my breath, gaze still wandering the perimeter. That's when I see it. Movement up ahead. Over there, I say before transitioning into a jog. Here we go again. My steps take me further up the path to where someone is trimming the bushes with a set of gardening shears. What? Snip, snap, snip. They're extremely careful as they work, meticulous with each... What? Okay. Yes, there are scissors, but why are we looking at Iggy? As Iggy. Why is Iggy looking at Iggy? Did Gidget wish for everyone to look like Iggy? Are there just a bunch of Iggies walking around? I'm scared. I don't want this. Meticulous with each crisp cut, hands measuring out a perfect evenness to the branches. It takes me a moment to realize exactly what I'm looking at. Wait a minute. I stop, cock my head to the side, blink. Genzo jogs up beside me, breath heavy. He also pauses, both of us just staring. Genzo was the first one to open his mouth. Why the fuck does Mr. Trimmy Knot over there look like exactly like you? I don't know. Okay. What I'm noticing about Arc 5 so far is everything I thought couldn't get worse is worse. Everything is worse. Everything is the worst it's ever been and is probably ever going to be. And I don't like this. To get it transition and make themselves look exactly like Iggy. I mean, slay, queen. My fingers are shaking at this point because it's true. He does. From the white crop of the hair to the pasty sheen of his sticky-like arms. Because that feels like something that they would do. They're insane. That's a girl. And even to the pale blue swath of his shirt. It's me. But that can't be. That can't be. Can it? I take a step forward, heart picking up in my ears. One step, two, my lips part. And in a half-dazed trance, I hear myself shout, "Hey!" The man that looks like me jumps, freezes. Then turns back to look at us. What the fuck is... Yeah, that's it. There's something off about him. Something that's not... What's this Coraline bullshit? What's going on? Something that's not quite... Before I can even closer look... Come pick me up, I'm scared, I'm sorry. Moral support. He bolts. I did kind of like the way he dashed off there. Hey, hey! He goes craning up the path, gangly arms failing as his shoes pound against the cobblestones. Hey, stop! I take off after him without thinking, my own heart leaping up into my ears. Catch that doppelganger! Genzo charges. Then we race. Oh, it's kind of cute the way it runs. Whipping by carefully trimming bush after a carefully trimming bush, overly spotless, dusted cobblestone. Sing a clone of yourself but with button eyes? No, I do not like this. Oh my god, that's right! Past coiled spindles of purple roses atop quaint red brick railings. The man who looks like me glances back, gives another jolt of anxious surprise, continues running, and I push myself harder even as my lungs burn and my heels throb and the copper taste of blood dances on my tongue. I can't reach him. I can reach him. I need to reach him. My mind, my gaze, my focus hones in on him. Only him. Who are you? In fact, I become so transfixed that I don't even notice the shadow just to the left of the path up ahead. Not until the blow comes without warning. A dull metal ringing in my head, and I go down hard, rolling and tumbling across the ground as stars dance across my eyes. Another clang behind me. I barely register it, only hear the resulting thud of a body on cobbles. All I can do is gaze upward as my vision blurs in and out, a quickly fading kaleidoscope. But they're over me. 1, 2, oh god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't even have a chance to wonder what the hell is going on before I black out. If you had asked me to guess what was going to happen, there's no way I would have fucking guessed that. My head is killing me, a throbbing egg blooming out from the back of my skull. I groan against it, squeezing my eyes, then pop them open. Only to see a familiar face less than 5 centimeters in front of my own. It takes me a moment to register, and I blink again, then jolt backwards so fast I hit my head back against the stone and send another rainbow pirouette of pain across my skull. God damn it. I nurse the back of my head with a wince, and the other me leans back on its hunches, cocking its head to the side. Okay, they're kind of cute, though. Like, they're weird and creepy. And if I had seen my own self with button-ass eyes, I'd be like, get out of here. But they're cute. Especially this one. There's more of them. Lots more. They're all around us, standing, kneeling, all of them looking at us curiously, studying us. I stare to sit up, then give a start to the one I hadn't even noticed right behind me. Oh my gosh, practically breathing down my neck. Rude. Personal space. This is, I don't know what the fuck this is. My face is a portrait of bewilderment as my mind attempts to finagle an explanation of the scene before me. They're all me. Only not quite. There's something off about them. Their eyes, their buttons, and their mouths. They don't have any mouths. What are they? There's a groan next to me, and I glance over to see Genzo pushing himself to his feet. He rubs the back of his head with a grimace. I'm already convinced this entire Wonderland soiree was just carefully engineered by some sadistic storyteller to cause me pain, so if we could just let up even just a little, that'd be great, thanks. Not Genzo speaking directly to Carrot. Iconic. One of the Iggies squats down in front of him, head tilted, then leans forward. It's cute. Leans forward in inquisitive scrutiny, their noses less than a few inches apart. Genzo blinks, blanches, then jerks back with a flustered start. Jesus! But there's one behind him, too, tugging curiously at his collar, analyzing the tufts of the hair sticking out from under his cap. I see Genzo's face turn about 50 shades of gray. Not him secretly enjoying it. Genzo, get it together! This is, for once he can't seem to come up with an accompanying piece of witty commentary. This is ridiculous is what it is. Just what the hell is going on here? With a huff, I rise to my feet, staggering only slightly as I find my balance. This seems to startle the Iggies. They recoil with the anxious jerks of their arms, stepping back to the monitor us from a safer distance. Now at the better vantage point I take in our surroundings, or in town. The town. Or at least I'm pretty sure we are. I recognize a number of the buildings, the cafes, the bakery, the inn. But things look different. Neater, cleaner, more elegant. White picket fences lining the path. Ornate roses, bushes peek out from the all yards, all carefully trimmed. Even the buildings themselves, they look like they've been given a fresh coat of paint, now brilliant shades of white and purple, and their windows gleam spotless in the sun. It's immaculate. Not a single spot of dirt on the ground. What is going on? Why is everything so shitty out there that you get over here and it's like, oh, that's so nice. Not a single branch or leaf out of place. It's seemingly empty, too. Empty except for the crowd of Iggies surrounding us. I turn back to the throng and feeling a bit of a loss. One of the Iggies steps forward, cocks his head, then begins waving his arms. First as though anxious apology, then in thoughtful befuddlement, then in a skeptical inquisition. I simply stare at him. Genzo lurches to his feet next to me. I think he's trying to talk to you. The other Iggy looks at me for a moment longer, scratches his head, then tries again, waving his arms more fervently. Now it's my turn to scratch my head. I'm sorry, I can't understand you. I try somewhat unconsciously mimicking some of the same movements as the doll. The other Iggy slumps. He's like, you don't get it. I throw another glance at the crowd, so many eyes on us. I tug at my collar nervously. I also can't help but notice their little mannerisms. Some of them playing with their hands, some of them rocking back and forth on their feet, some of them itching at their nose in rapid flourishes and a vexed unease. I blink. Is that what I look like? Yeah. The little Iggies are so expressive. I instinctively itch at my nose and gnaw a huge chunk on the side of my cheek in growing discomfort. I turn back to the Iggy in the front. Is Gidget here? This seems to brighten his mood. He pops back up, fingers raised in inspiration, then shoots off another series of rapid-fire arm signals before nodding expectantly. Please tell me you got that. I scratch at the back of my neck with a grimace. I mean, I guess that's a yes? Then back to the Iggy. Could you, take us to her? We really need to see her. And then an afterthought. We're, her friends. The head Iggy points empathetically somewhere off to the right, then nods. At this, the crowd swarms. The Iggies leap towards us in apparent excitement, pushing us forward down the path. Some of them running out in front, some of them guiding us ahead, patting our shoulders, reaching out to touch our faces and hair. My discomfort rises about 1,000-fold, but I do my best to swallow the urge to curl into a little ball in the cobblestones and follow their lead obediently. At least they're friendly? Yeah, well, so were the fucking tomato things, and you saw how that turned out. I toss a glance at Genzo, whose eyes look like they're about to bug out of his face. His gaze shoots back and forth between the Iggies, touching his head and shoulders as he walks stiff-legged next to me. He's got his lips pressed together so hard it's wonder his jaw doesn't snap. We're led through the town, past more pristine houses, ornate gardens. As this place had a fairy tale vibes before, now it's absolutely dripping with them. It's just so perfect, to the point that I find myself afraid to touch anything lest I leave dirty fingerprint or errant hair on the paint. Further and further we walk, more Iggy's joining us along the way. I still haven't spotted a single person besides an Iggy. What happened to them all? What is this? But I'm not even given to ruminate on this question because in front of me the grandest manor I've ever seen erupts across my vision. All lush white exterior, sprawling balconies, vine-wrapped pillars, and accompanied by flowers and greenery, a neatly kept garden with a burst of purple blooms. It's a picture-perfect portrait of quaint immodesty. Genzo takes one look at the manor, his jaw slack, then spins on his heels. That's it, I'm going back. Genzo! I grab his arm on instinct despite his trademark hyperbole. Gidget was hell enough when all she had was an inn. Now she's got a whole fucking mansion. He throws his arms out for emphasis. And an army of Iggy lookalikes. I throw a glance at the army in question. He's not wrong, though despite how unnerving their presence is, they don't seem to want us any harm. I watch the one nearest me blow upwards at a lock of bang covering his eyes again and again, nor do they seem capable of it. I blink and turn. That's probably the most. They just can't do anything. I blink and turn towards the mansion. Maybe she... But I trail off, unable to think of a way to end my sentence. Maybe she what? Maybe she wants to skin us? Maybe she wants to invite us to a nice tea party, then poison us and eat our brains? You're being ridiculous. You have a point. We're not on the Gidget path. You have a point. I chomp down on my lips with a grimace. Despite the exaggerated examples, he's not wrong. Gidget has, well, let's just say she's done things. Yeah, she's done things. Things I would rather not think about. Things that make my stomach twist and icy prickles of anxiety run up and down my arms and legs. I guess you have a point. I don't think she ever do anything like that, but I'd rather not give her the chance to try. Cold driblets of sweat break out across my forehead. It's not like I want to remember. Like I want to think about her hands around my throat, the sniff of scissors around my tongue. The panic in my heart as she lifted me into her arms carried me to the bed. I'll fix you. Oh god, it's Bob the Builder, it's back again. I wipe at my face. Next to me, Genzo blinks, pressing his lips together. His brows twitch in concern. Hey, you okay? Yeah, sorry, memories, I guess. He brings a hand to my shoulder. Everything's gonna be fine, yeah? Sorry if my overacting scared you. He winces. You know me, this mouth has a tendency to run away from me. Miles and miles away. It's not you, it's just... I shake my head. Anyway, you're right. I'll be fine. Everything will be fine. I nod. Genzo cocks an eyebrow. That wouldn't convince a fly, but I guess I'll take it. Come on, let's get this over with, yeah? I let out a sigh, but let him lead me towards the manor entrance all the same. But I have this feeling this is going to be a long, long night. I don't know. I'm nervous. But the Iggies are cute. Does it mean we'll see Cecil? I want to see Cecil. But the bangers come back. The door closes with a creak behind us, cloaking us in the dim luminescence of the manor interior. The inside is quite a sight. Fancy. Decadent. Like the estates of some wealthy baroness. Gilded ornate paper lining the walls, triple-tier chandeliers illuminating room after room, delicate china and golden fineries crowning furniture of rich mahogany. I'm reminded of Orlam's castle. I was too, but I wasn't going to say it. The same aura of unrestrained extravagance stripping off every inch of this place, only smaller, more compact, cozier perhaps, if you could describe such a lavish chateau as such. Genzo whistles between his teeth next to me. Looks like someone leveled up. This is quite the upgrade. How come this place can't shower me with opulent niceties? I'd like to live in the lap of luxury for once. Genzo's hands go to his hips. It is a tempting sight. There are more Iggies inside, some of them sweeping and dusting the rooms, some of them carting trays of food, and still others standing like watchmen beside the door. The nearest one pulls a lopsided salute at the approach of our group. And the Iggy I'd attempted to speak with earlier steps forward. I see more flailing of arms and hands. I still have no idea how they're communicating, but the idea must have been conveyed because the watchman Iggy glances at us, glances towards the back stairwell, then shrugs and motions us through. Some security. Our Iggy leads us down the hall, and we have the rest of the group behind us as we start up the steps. More Iggies go pushing past us. All of them seem harried and anxious, eager to get where they're going and half stumbling down the stairs. Some of them carrying gleaming silver trays, some of them downing all assortments of cleaning apparatuses, and still others carrying nothing at all, but wringing their hands together with such fervor, surprised they don't trip and fall face first down the steps. Around and around the spiral steps we go, until we reach the top landing and step out into a grand upper hall lined with the flickering sconces and painting after painting of Gidget. My thoughts go first to the placards, the ones that had once lined the path into the village, of Gidget and her many ensembles, all of them flashy and colorful and occasionally erotic. However, these portraits are different, painted in dark, heavy strokes and showcasing a stern-faced Gidget, in a variety of Victorian-esque dresses adorned with lace and frills, the emotionless features, the stiff posture. She looks almost doll-like. I'm feeling a tad perceived. You're telling me. I jerk my gaze away from one portrait in particular. It seems as though its eyes are following me. The memories are coming back stronger now. Memories of the room in the inn, of Gidget sitting next to me on the bed, of her eyes boring into me, of her hands. I shake my head, wipe at my forehead. No. Things will be different this time. Look, they will be different, but that does not mean good. Okay? They will be. I mean, they already are. Our Iggy leads down the hall of Gidget, stooping a large set of golden-trimmed double doors. He pauses, knocks. And about 30 seconds later, another Iggy pops his head out of the door curiously. He sees us, blinks, then shuts the door. Another minute passes, and I scratch my calf with the side of my foot in awkward silence. Finally, he returns, and this time the door opens wide. We are ushered into the ornate bedroom. A giant 4-poster canopy bed sits against the back wall, its enormous mattress topped with a marshmallow-like duvet and an army of lacy pillows. Plush purple carpets lines the wide expanse of floor, and dainty decaled furniture interrupts the horizon in a picture-perfect arrangement, all of it looking as though carefully carved by a master craftsman. I feel myself start to sweat as I look around. Oh, goodness me, Iggy, what a pleasant surprise! My gaze shoots at the sound of the voice, the enormous round tea table on the right hand side of the room. I mean, looking good, but scary. And the owner of the voice, currently situated snugly amongst a mountain of frilled blankets at its head. Gidget! Gidget beams at us from above her porcelain teacup. She looks the same as the portraits outside. All done up from head to toe in lace and that word. A delicate wide-brimmed hat crowning her head, and her lower half completely obfuscated by a giant billowing skirt that flows across the floor like a waterfall of purple. She tilts her head to the side with a beam trill. And perfect timing, too. I was just sitting down for tea. Won't you join me? I don't really have a choice. Next to me, Genzo swallows hard. I know what I said before was a joke, but the possibility is suddenly becoming a bit real. He hisses. Before I'm able to respond, our guide, Iggy, gives us an exuberant push forward towards the table as another set of Iggy's approaches to pull a duo of chairs from the table. We're shoved into them just a tad bit too hard, and practically choke as the Iggy's tie a set of napkins tied around our necks. I tug on mine with a grimace. Sorry. And then look out across the table. Ooh, these don't look like people. It fills with trays of pies and cookies, scones and tarts. From behind, a pair of Iggy's delivers us each a cup and saucer full of tea. I eye it dubiously, but don't partake. It's ever so lovely that you would join me today. Gidget's voice is sickly sweet. She takes a sip of tea. It's been so long since we last spoke. Has it? She brings a hand to her mouth with a laugh. Oh yes, I'd forgotten. It's only been a matter of days to you. I chuckle nervously, place my hands in my lap. You remember too then? I start. Of course! I smile. It was quite the surprise, I must say, to realize how much has happened, how much we've gone through together. That's one way to put it, Genzo grumbles beneath his breath. Gidget's smile curls ever wider. Oh yes, you and I had our fair share of tips, didn't we, Genzo? If you call keeping you from snipping Ig's dingle-off tips, then yeah, we had our fair share of them. This elicits a high-pitched squeal from Gidget. I feel my toes curl. I don't like this, Gidget. She's scary. And, like, not even in, like, she's just so... I don't know what it is. I can't place it at the moment. I watch her bat a hanky to her eyes. How extraordinarily draw. I have to say, I missed your unique brand of off-color comedy. Comedy? What? She sighs, brushes an errant hair out of her eyes. Don't you worry, though, Iggy. I have no such inclinations any longer. No, I am happy to say that I've moved on. Yeah, I'm sure. That's why there's a gajillion Iggy's next to us. I blink instead of just a bit straighter. You have? She brings a finger to her lips, gaze going skyward in memory. It took me a while, admittedly. I was a bit beset when I arrived here, as you might imagine. All those memories, all those rejections. Yeah. I clasp my hands together, fingers clawing at each other. But I used that feeling to propel me forward. It fueled me, Iggy. And oh, the things you can do when inspired. She sways her hands with such energetic gusto that a few splashes of tea jump out to decorate her chin. One of her Iggy slides over to quickly wipe them off. She takes this opportunity to tug on his collar, her fingers caressing his cheek. Oh, my beautiful darlings, for instance. The Iggy curls in against her palm with an affectionate nuzzle. I programmed all of them myself. Wonderful, aren't they? Adorably efficient. Obedient? She runs a finger beneath his chin with a lascivious grin. Magnificent in bed. The temperature of my cheeks rises about 500 degrees. Disgusting. And next to me, Genzo promptly chokes on his own spit. He beats his fist against his chest as he coughs up a lung. They're everything I could ever want. Perfect companions for a perfect life. Gidget returns her attention to her tea with a leer, fingertips holding it poignantly to her lips as she blows across the surface. Without thinking, I grab my own tea, hands shaking as I take a sip. Any kind of distraction is godsend right now. Those childish feelings have long since passed, though. I've no need for things like anger and jealousy. No, they would be quite unbecoming, I think. I've expunged all such imperfect urges from my life. That's nice. This bodes very well for Orlam, I'm sure. At any rate, eat. The food will go to waste otherwise, and you two surely famished after your little adventure, she says with a divert smile. She's not wrong, but something about the food makes my stomach turn. All of it sweet, too sweet. The cloying smell curling in my sinuses and makes my stomach roil. What do you mean, go to waste? Aren't you going to eat any of it? Genzo muses as he scratches at his cheek. Gidget pauses, a look of absolute bewilderment coloring her features, then laughs. Laughs as though she's just heard the most amusing anecdote of her life. Heavens no! Once you've achieved the level of perfection, you no longer need to consume anything. Oh no. Quite dirty, really, when you think about it. Eating. Chomping away on little bits of like some kind of cow, she takes another sip of her tea. No, I partake in nothing but my daily rations of tea. How else do you think I managed to retain this figure? I feel like Gidget, was on the tip of the deep end the other times, but she's this time. Genzo's brows arc. Then why make all this food? He sounds absolutely affronted. One must keep us appearances. She wraps another Iggy on his way by with another tray of freshly made egg tarts, pinches his cheek with a playful grin. And I need something to keep my little darlings occupied. They get so restless when they have nothing to do. I simply stare at her in disbelief. Then glance around to see all the Iggy's watching me. Gidget is so beautiful. She is, but this attitude this time around is, I don't know what to make of it, to be honest. Shrink just a bit in my chair. Finally, I grab one of the cookies so not to appear rude, nibbling on it in silence. Next to me, Genzo sighs and reaches for one of the cupcakes. Please don't let this be the last cupcake I ever eat. We munch on one of the sweets in silence. Gidget watches with a look of content and accomplishment painting her cheeks. The plates of desserts are changing out for new ones, most of them untouched. Genzo coughs next to me. I continue chewing on my cookie, once, twice, again and again, until it turns into a battery slap in my mouth. Another cough. This one is followed by an elbow in the ribs that nearly sends the cookie slobber out between my lips. Iggs. I throw him a confused glance. He just glares at me, gaze shooting pointedly between me and Gidget. Say something, he finally hisses. Oh, I cough, clear my throat, then turn back to Gidget with an awkward squeak of my chair. This is great and all, and surely you're not going to stay down here, right? I feel like I've had the same conversation a million times over at this point, and I don't know what else to say. Clearly there's something wrong here, something we need to fix. This place is warping us. Warping? Gidget cocks her head to the side, then smiles. More like transforming. I see everything so perfectly now. All the mistakes I've made opened my eyes, enlightened me to my own stupidity. All my life I've relied on someone else to make me perfect. But I can achieve my own perfection, craft it with my own hands. Never mind. Queen. Don't you see? I have everything I've ever wanted, and I did it all myself. A cold tendril of dread curls up inside my chest. She feels like Orlam here. Oh no! Tickling the base of the larynx. Everything you've ever wanted? I grimace, tossing a glance around the room. When have you ever wanted any of this? None of this seems like you. I take a sip of my tea, hoping it will mask my discomfort. Oh! What would you know about me? Gidget's voice goes suddenly sharp. Why is she a snake now? And for a brief moment, something about her changes. Her eyes, they give off an otherworldly flash of yellow, and I swear I see her pupils split for a second. Is this even the real Gidget? Who is this? I sit back in my chair with the start sloshing tea up and onto my wrist, but at the moment it's short-lived. She blinks. sits back with a smile. Beckons a nearby Iggy come refill her cup. Yes, what would you know about me? She muses as she sits back, impish smile playing on her lips. You've done nothing but stifle me all my life. You and your graceless comments. This abhorrent dependency on you has done nothing but hold me back. Oh, 'cause you're the patron saint of altruism. Genzo pushes himself to his feet. Oh, please, must we start this again? Gidget fans herself. You're only making a fool out of yourself. No, she's right. It's fine, Genzo. It's fine, Genzo. She's not gonna listen. I want to say something. I really do. Because she's right. She's fucking right. But all of a sudden, my voice feels trapped up inside my larynx with an air bubble from an oversized gulp of soda. My gaze drops to the table as my cheeks grow warm, and I bring a shaky hand against Genzo's sleeve, giving it an anxious tug. It's okay, Genzo. It's fine, really. I eke out, my voice cracking. Genzo looks at me. Looks at Gidget. I see his brows twitch and furrow. Then, finally, he sighs, letting himself fall back into the chair with a huff. Fine, forget it, I guess. But I don't miss the hint of concern in the little glance he shoots me, nor the way Gidget simply stares at me, lips pulled into a thin line. I clasp my hands together beneath the table and stare down at my half-finished cup of tea. Finally, Gidget yawns. Your unfettered emotions tire me. I must rest. She wearily, flicks her hands towards the Iggies, who set at once to clearing the table. Stay if you so insist. My darlings will see to it that you're comfortable. Though I recommend you embark upon the morning, I have no desire to join you in your silly game of heroism. Return to your unfulfilling lives and leave me be. But Gidget holds her palm out, cutting me off, and two nearby Iggies move forward to pull our chairs away from the table. I give a little retch as my napkin is yanked from my throat. Jeez, okay. Then throw a pained glance in Gidget's direction as I'm led from the room. The door swings shut behind us with a slam, making my bangs flutter forward. Well, that could have gone better. A pause. But it could have gone a lot worse, too, so I'd say we broke even. He clasps his hands together. Because there's nothing more we can do. Let's rouse the high-flatten house. Genzo. His shoulders immediate slump. Yeah, I thought I'd try anyway. Maybe we'll have more luck tomorrow? We can't just leave. I throw an arm towards his lower half. I'm sure you can use a lie down anyway. You're admittedly not wrong about that. I've been about ready to pass out for the last hour. I cringe. I can't tell if he's exaggerating or telling the truth. Probably a little of both. Come on. I give his shoulder an encouraging pat. We'll get some rest. Then turn towards the front where our Iggy guide is standing, head cocked and staring at us curiously. Oh. My shoulder slumps. Sorry, were you waiting for us? He tilts his head in an opposite direction, silent a moment longer. Then promptly clasps his hands together with an almost audible chop chop and twist on his heels, walking purposely down the hall. We fall into step behind him. Honestly, that whole puppet master thing I was talking about with Gidget once before is even more true now with all these fucking Iggy dolls. One back at the bottom of the stairs, he takes a left, leading us down a corridor with more flustered Iggies running to and fro. Further, past open doors leading into what looks like libraries, studies, tea rooms, dining rooms. Curving around outside a miniature theater room, compete with the heavy silk curtains and rows of velvet seats, though a glass hallway looking out a lush terrace, gardener Iggies clipping away at the bushes and flowers. This place is huge. I gulp unwittingly. It's all a bit much. And no Cecil. The Iggies in particular. I can't help but feel a combination of discomfort and pity for them as they scurry about. Finally, after a few, feels like we've walked at least a couple entire cities over, our guide comes in to stop in the middle of a quiet-ish hallway lined with doors. He glances left, right, then gestures towards the two closest. Thank fucking God. I was half expecting us to run into the Minotaur down here. I throw a glance at the door. These are for us? A zealous nod. I expected him to move out of the way, but he doesn't, just standing there staring at us. Thank you. I cough, shuffle my feet, then start to step past him, only for him to whip something out of his shirt, holding it out expectantly. It's a piece of paper, and when I take it more closely, I see it's a menu. List of exquisite-sounding dishes and desserts line its surface in fancy color print. We can have any of these? Another nod. My eyes grow wide as I take in the array of options. The Iggy hands another sheet to Genzo, who takes it curiously. Aww, the number of selections is staggered to say the least, and I feel myself start to sweat, at a loss as to what I should choose. Can I have a moment to look it over? The Iggy nods, points up a little bell above the door, then presses... Wait, why is his face red? What's on the paper? Huh? The Iggy nods, points up a little bell above the door, then presses his palms together as though praying. Okay, cool. I say before glancing over at Genzo, who has suddenly gone so red I'm surprised he doesn't overheat on the spot. What's wrong? He's just staring down at his paper, and when I lean down to take a look, I see the words Special Services written on top, followed by a range of services I don't know I could even bear to say out loud. From the Iggies? Oh, God. Genzo, stay strong. You must stay strong. I swipe the paper away from him so fast I nearly tear it in half, my own cheeks burning. There will be no services from the Iggy dolls, I squawk, my voice cracking, then shove the offending piece of paper back into the Iggy's hands. We won't be needing these. The Iggy starts floundering, bringing his hands to his head in anxious confusion and nearly dropping the paper. He finally shoves it back inside his shirt and bows his head. He gestures towards our room with a sheepish wave of his arms. Thank you, I muttered, then started at the door. Let's go, Genzo. But Genzo was just standing there, still just staring down at his hands where the paper had once been, his face still the color of a tomato. Help this man. A few hours later, I've showered, toweled, and swaddled myself in a 2-inch thick bathrobe, feeling altogether more refreshed. Even more so when I step out of the bathroom to see the meal I'd ordered ready and waiting for me atop gleaming plates of silver. Salmon pepper steak on rice. Oh, that sounds so good. Blue cheese wedge salad. Okay. Baked sweet. We could leave that. Baked sweet potato with butter and brown sugar. An entire tray of garlic bread. Okay. And of course, desserts. Hot peanut butter sundae. Okay. Slice of cookies and cream cheesecake. All right, she treated us good again. I'm back on the Gidget train. They've even somehow procured me a box of shock tarts to snack on, which is saying something, as I'm pretty sure they don't even make those anymore. My stomach gurgles in spite of itself, and I let myself flop onto my bed with a sigh of content. The bed yields delightfully beneath me. Another butter cameo. Yeah, my bad. All downy folds of cloud-like comfort cradling my weary frame. I accidentally end up lying there, staring at the ceiling for about 5 minutes before remembering the food, then sit up with a jolt and scooch towards the trays. The meal is as delicious as it looked, to the point that it makes my jaw ache, and I washed down with a glass of wine and juice and some kind of curiously delicious lime drink that Iggy, who'd come to take my order, had fervently pointed to. Between the food, the bed, the shower, and the robe, I feel like $1,000,000, awash in unbridled complacency. There's way too much food for me to finish. Once my stomach begins to complain, I take a break, lying back against the downy blankets to the snack of the shock tarts as I study the surrounding walls. It's a cozy room. Sorry. The same ornate vibes as the rest of the place, but smaller, more compact. Gold vines and leaves run up the wallpaper. I'll take the sweet potatoes if you don't want them. I love sweet potatoes. I wish I did. They're so good for you. But yes, you can have mine. We'll share. That lime drink sounds divine. To nestle beneath exquisitely carved frames outlining the ceilings. Wall-high curtains hang in heavy-set folds that dive from the rod like pressed fondant, and brilliantly polished furniture garnishes the environs as thoughtfully placed intervals. I close my eyes, breathe it in. For once, my anxiety is nowhere to be found. I feel good. Another sigh. She's just fattening us up for the kill. I let my gaze wander the room as I roll over onto my stomach. First to the shelf lined with books and trinkets on the far wall, then to the cupboard next to it, a small television sitting on top. Curious. There's TV here? I push myself back up to the seat, search around for a remote, then click it on. A sprightly professional tune begins to play as the screen comes to life, people talking. It's a news broadcast, only the one sitting behind the desk is Gidget, donning a crisp blue suit with her hair up in a high bun. On the Wonderland Insider, we have your daily dose of news from across the kingdom. As always, things couldn't be better. Clear skies as far as the eye can see, a lovely breeze coming in across the water. Yes, I'd say it's simply perfect. The perfect day to step out and take the life by the reins, wouldn't you say? The camera cuts away to a news scene with another desk, where Gidget is also sitting, only this time dressed in a sunny yellow dress and seated on a sprawling white couch. I'd say it is, and you know what else it's perfect for? Today's words of inspiration. Remember, pessimism leads to weakness, while optimism leads to power. You can be perfect too if you can lock away those impure thoughts. Conceal, don't feel. Become who you were always meant to be. Not meant to be again. The camera cuts away again, this time to another set, where Gidget in a trendy-looking sweater and a cat-eye sunglasses stands among a bed of fake flowers and backdropped by a fluffy white clouds. And now for today's fashion advice. Just because you're at home with the kids doesn't mean you need to look like a slob. Now you can make the other moms jealous with the jazzy sweater combo that'll have your man swooning when he comes home. Practical and sensate. I jam my finger into the channel button. This is getting too weird. This time the speakers greet me with a sprightly summary tune, and my brows raise as I take in the sight of a bikini-clad Gidget standing in front of a gaggle of beast with trunked Iggy's. She's moving her body in time with the music, arms up and down, stretching from right to left, all while calling out words of encouragement as the Iggy's follow in time behind her. I blink, watch it for a moment. It's quite relaxing, actually. The music and movement. That's the way, you're doing great. Up, down, left, right. It's soothing. Without really thinking about it, I slide off the bed and stand in front of the TV. Then silently begin following along. Oh no, he's gonna turn into a doll. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now touch your toes, right to left. I bend down and do as I'm told, back and forth with the music, then back up. A set of trunk twists, followed by some knee lifts. My robe flaps around me with the movement. I get so focused I don't even hear the door open, nor see the person enter, just stretching my arms up and over my head with rhythmic pulses, until... What the actual fuck are you doing? I jump back so quickly I lose my footing and fall into a splayed pile of limbs on the floor. Genzo! I said up with a flush, pulling my must robe back and tight around my frame and scramble for the remote. I click the TV off and the room goes uncomfortably silent. Genzo stares at me, blinks, then finally, should I even ask? I shake my head in quick and bashful little jerks, then rise shakily back to my feet. Well, what are you doing here? Well, I was going to suggest we do a bit of investigating, mostly because I figured you were probably over here worrying yourself into an anxious little mess. But I see now I may have been mistaken. His gaze flicks towards the half-finished plates of food and desserts, the pile of muscled sheets. Made yourself a home, did you? My cheeks go red again, and I attempt to extricate a low-hanging clump of bang out from in front of my eyes. Genzo smiles, laughs. I mean, if you're fine, I'm fine, I guess. No, I bring a hand up in protest. You're right, I perhaps lost myself a bit. I think I would like to look around, maybe. My voice gets smaller with each word, and my gaze drops to the floor. Alrighty, then. Another chuckle. Maybe put some pants on, then? I'll meet you outside. I nod, then watch him wander over back to the door. Tendrils of shame poke at my cheeks. I really had lost myself. I need to focus. Get Gidget out of here. Find the others. Fix all of this. Right. I nod again in time to myself. For myself. Then return to the bathroom to find my clothes. I think here is a good place to stop. Because I think we've gone... Whoa. That was weird, but that's actually just a macro I have on my computer. I think now's a good time to stop. Because I think it's going to go into a whole... Into the spider's nest? Yeah, I'm glad that I fucking stopped, huh? What? Gray, if you're there, we cooked. We were on to something. We were always on to something. Okay. Let me go to the main menu. Lord of mercy. Oh, Genzo's here. Hi, baby. Hi, baby and baby. Our baby and our baby, you know? Let's just adopt Sadie. That'll be better. And we'll raise it with Genzo in our own little hut somewhere. Yeah, I didn't end the stream too much earlier, but I'm tired. My voice is tired. That was a lot. There's a lot in Arc 5, and I feel like we've only, like, the tip of the iceberg. It is much longer, so I expected us to maybe make less progress. I'm glad that we got to see Gidget, Jesus, Gidget briefly for a time before diving fully in, and now I'm even more terrified because we're in the spider's nest, quote unquote. So, look forward to that next week, I guess, and all the other horrors. Arc 5 is already shaping up to be the most horrifying already. I honestly didn't think that was possible. I'm going to be so real. I feel like at this point, Kara was just like, oh, you thought it was bad so far? Well, you know what? It's only going to get worse before it gets better, so buckle in, you know? So, and I'm in it, I got it. But it's also some of the sweetest, and we've made some actual great emotional progress with Genzo. I like that everybody remembers everything. I like how things are progressing. I like how that I have no clue what's going to happen. At all. And I like how just severely ominous it is. Because, of course, things aren't just going to happen all willy-nilly. And there's actually some genuinely, like, actually really funny moments and cute stuff going on. But, obviously, you know, the horrors are always lurking. We cannot escape. We are back to Trauma Thursdays fully now. Like, there's no doubt about it. And I'm here for it. Even if sometimes I don't want to be. So, let's do our end. This isn't it. Get out of here. Okay, so let's show the schedule. So, today was Trauma Thursday. Luckily, we get to come down and play some more Seaside Inn tomorrow night. So, same time, same place. Hope you'll be there. I don't know if we're going to be able to get it done tomorrow or not. Regardless, we're going to have a fun time with Florence, who is my main character of Seaside Inn, and it's just going to be a grand old time. And I have a nice surprise for that stream tomorrow, so stay tuned. Next will be the Lord of Light stream on Saturday, as you know, we're just going to keep doing that until the wheels fall off, basically. I was able to fix quite a lot last time, so we're just going to do it again. And then it'll be basically the same exact schedule for next week, I imagine, unless we finish Seaside Inn tomorrow. So look forward to that. I'm running 2 jams. One jam starts tomorrow on March 15th. And it runs through May 15th. It's Chat Sim Jam. Chat Sim Jam. I'm running it with Max and Teef, and it's going to be a grand old time. All the entries that are submitted to the jam I will be playing here on stream, so if that's an extra incentive, look forward to that. If not, then don't. Then I'm also running Josei After Dark, which is later this year. It'll be July 31st to October 31st, so you've got a little bit more time to plan all that. And we're trying to get more NSFW games targeted towards women in the indie dev visual novel space. It's very niche. I guess it's not that niche, but you know, it's very particular, and it was completely on purpose. We wanted more, so you know, you got to be the change you want to see in the world. That's what I have to say about that. Other than that, that's pretty much it for me for stream today. I had a great time as always. Arc 5 is already shaping up to be a fucking mess and a half. So I'm gonna keep coming back and braving the horrors, and I hope you'll be there to keep me company as we go further into the fucking spider's nest. And we haven't even seen Orlom. I don't know how that's gonna go at all. I don't even want to think about it, to be honest, because it's already horrifying. But you know what? We're in it. We're in it to win it. So that's it for the stream today, guys. I'm gonna rest up and, you know, get ready for work tomorrow and all that. So you guys have a good rest of your night, day, whatever your time zone is. Eat. Try to watch something really happy, because that was very terrifying. So other than that, thank you all for coming. Goodbye.